After the three returned to the private room, the girls were still chatting. Yu Jingwan was already able to exchange a few words with the others, thanks largely to Yin Min Gran, who managed to include her. Kong Yu returned and sat down beside Yu Jingwan. Yu Jingwan looked at him, smiled, and asked, "Finished ordering?" "Huh? Oh, pretty much, Kong Yu couldn't help but freeze for a moment. He had been so engrossed in chatting with Zhou Heng and Liao Haomiao that he'd forgotten the reason they went out was to order food. "Is that so?" Then, Yu Jingwan leaned close to Kong Yu's ear and whispered, "Then, whatever the bill comes to, we can go AA." Huh? No, it's my treat this time. Why would you go AA with me?" Kong Yu didn't react for a moment, not understanding what she meant. Hadn't he already said it was his treat, inviting his friends for a meal? It wasn't like it was just the two of them eating alone, and even if it were, he would never let Yu Jingwan pay. "I'm your girlfriend, aren't I? At least for now, so I should share the cost with you." Kong Yu's eyes instantly widened, and he stared at Yu Jingwan in shock. He had never heard such a thing before. It was truly an eye-opener. So girlfriends could be like this? Shouldn't guys be responsible for all these expenses? At least, that's what he had always thought. No, how could that be? Keep your money, don't spend it. After his daze, Kong Yu quickly shook his head and gently patted Yu Jingwan's hand. "It's okay, I've saved up quite a bit of money." "That's still not okay. Be good, keep it for yourself, okay?" "Oh, okay, I'll be good." Yu Jingwan lowered her head, pouted, and replied softly. This small gesture, witnessed by Kong Yu, made her seem incredibly cute in that instant. In that moment, all the other girls seemed to dim in comparison, even though they were each more beautiful than the last. Right then, in Kong Yu's eyes, the most unassuming Yu Jingwan was the one who caught his eye the most. Whoa! Kong Yu quickly turned his head away, looking elsewhere, blinking, trying to calm his current feelings. What was this feeling? Why did he feel this way? Zhou Heng and Liao Haomiao, watching from the side, couldn't help but laugh when they saw Kong Yu like this. It was as if they saw their former selves in Kong Yu. During the meal, Yu Jingwan thoughtfully served Kong Yu food, making him feel embarrassed. He had never experienced this kind of treatment and wasn't used to it at all. He felt both happy and somewhat flustered. It was a flustered feeling, as if he believed someone like him didn't deserve to be treated this way by others. After the meal ended, everyone prepared to leave. When they reached the counter, Kong Yu consciously stepped to the front and took out his phone, the bill. The cashier pointed to Zhou Heng beside him and said, "This handsome gentleman has already paid." Kong Yu looked at Zhou Heng, stunned and a little surprised. Hadn't they agreed he would treat this time? How did Zhou Heng secretly pay the bill? "Brother Zhou, look at you. Didn't we agree I was treating?" Zhou Heng reached out and patted Kong Yu's chest, a smile playing on his lips as he said lightly, "You'll have many places to spend money in the future. Save it. This one's on me, it's nothing. Brother Zhou." A joyful expression slowly spread across Kong Yu's face. Truthfully, he was a rather poor person and also liked to take small advantages, definitely not a generous type. But he had no objections to treating Zhou Heng to a meal, not even hesitating. Zhou Heng held such an important place in his heart. In that high school where everyone looked down on him, Zhou Heng hadn't been like the others, his eyes filled with disdain. He had treated him like a normal classmate. Just that alone was something Kong Yu remembered deeply. Just be down to earth. Zhou Heng nodded, not needing Kong Yu to say anything more. "Okay, I know." Kong Yu nodded emphatically. Today had been incredibly beneficial for him. It could be said that it had completely changed him. Whether it was meeting Yu Jingwan or the enlightenment from Liao Haomiao and Zhou Heng, his way of thinking had been altered. "Goodbye. See you next time." Zhou Heng and the others prepared to leave, bidding farewell to Kong Yu and his group. Kong Yu held Yu Jingwan's hand, smiled, and said goodbye to the others. "Goodbye. Remember to let me treat next time, Brother Zhou." Yu Jingwan also quickly bowed and said, "Thank you all." "All right." A slight smile touched Zhou Heng's lips as he nodded. Then he led the way out, with the others following. "This kid's got pretty good luck," Liao Haomiao said, glancing back before turning to Zhou Heng. Liao Haomiao said this because he didn't know what Kong Yu had been through, but Zhou Heng knew very well. Every time he encountered Kong Yu, he was either having bad luck or on his way to having bad luck, even though this misfortune was often self-inflicted. He's had bad luck for several years. Maybe he's finally turned a corner. When things are at their worst, they can only get better. No one has bad luck for a lifetime. Perhaps all his misfortunes were paving the way for the beginning of good luck. After everyone else had left, Kong Yu and Yu Jingwan also walked out. He asked, "Shall we go for a walk? Or go back to the hotel to rest?" "I think it's better to go back and rest. You can sleep for a while. You didn't sleep well last night." "Okay, I'll listen to you." Yu Jingwan held Kong Yu's hand tightly and said softly. Afterward, Kong Yu and Yu Jingwan returned to their hotel room. After entering, Yu Jingwan began to feel uneasy. Have you thought it through? She couldn't help but ask. She both didn't want to know the answer and wanted to know it because she had been feeling anxious all along. I've thought it through. Kong Yu walked over, first grabbing a Coke from the side, intending to open it and take a sip before speaking. But the bottle was very fizzy, and as soon as he twisted it open, the Coke sprayed out. Damn it. In an instant, his clothes were wet, soaked by the Coke. Oh dear. Seeing this, Yu Jingwan immediately came over and grabbed a bunch of tissues to wipe his clothes. No, you should take it off quickly. I'll wash it for you. I take it off. Hurry up. Oh. Kong Yu hadn't quite processed it, but he obediently did as he was told, taking off his outer clothes, leaving only an undershirt on. Yu Jingwan picked up Kong Yu's clothes and went to the bathroom. Then, the sound of running water and clothes being washed could be heard. Kong Yu walked to the bathroom door and saw Yu Jingwan, sleeves rolled up, diligently washing his clothes. His heart began to beat a little faster. A strange feeling arose within him. He had originally thought that a girl like Yin Mingran, envied by everyone, was only worthy of someone like Zhou Heng. They were a match made in heaven. As for himself, perhaps he would die alone, or perhaps he would marry a woman he didn't love through an arranged marriage set up by his parents and live out his life. But now it seemed he had found a girl who, in his heart, could compare to Yin Mingran. Good morning, wifey. Zhou Heng yawned, opened his eyes, stretched, and then looked to the side. He saw that the spot next to him was already empty. Yin Mingran wasn't by his side. Zhou Heng picked up his phone, glanced at it, and muttered, all right, today is Chinese New Year. Time flies. I wonder when Mom and Dad will be back. Zhou Heng got out of bed, put on his pajamas, and prepared to leave the room. Click! When he walked out the door, went downstairs, and looked towards the dining room. He froze on the spot. He stood there, hair messy, one hand still inside his shirt, scratching his stomach. And at the dining table in the dining room, Yin Mingran, his grandmother, and his parents, Zhou Juniao and Lu Wei, were all sitting there, eating breakfast. The four of them turned their gazes towards him, meeting Zhou Heng's eyes. The five of them just stood there, stunned for a few seconds. You guys are back. Zhou Heng slowly spoke, his voice laced with embarrassment. Yeah, we came back early this morning. And you, really just getting up now? Ranran has been busy all morning. Lu Wei shot him a glare, pointed towards the kitchen, and said, Zhou Heng forced a harmless smile, scratched his head, tried to pretend he didn't know anything. Yin Mingran chuckled, quickly waved her hand, and said softly, come and eat breakfast quickly. Coming. Zhou Heng sat down beside Yin Mingran. Looking at the sumptuous breakfast on the table, his eyes lit up because he could tell at a glance which dishes were made by Yin Mingran and which were made by his grandmother. As they ate, Zhou Juniao glanced at the time and said to Zhou Heng, son, after breakfast, want to play for a bit? Play or not? Mobile games? Or console? Up to you, I'm good with either. As the two of them spoke, Lu Wei suddenly interrupted their conversation. Hey, that's enough. You two, father and son. Can you play fewer games today? If you have nothing to do, then do some work. There's so much to be done. It's okay, Mom. I can do it. You guys should rest. You're usually so busy. It's rare to have a good rest during Chinese New Year, so don't work. Yin Mingran really hoped they could all rest and relax. It was her first time spending Chinese New Year with Zhou Heng's family, and she was very excited. She really hoped they could have fun and leave the work to her. Lu Wei looked at Yin Mingran, her eyes full of affection. She gently stroked her head and said softly, good girl, sweetheart. Chinese New Year is about being together as a family, working together, and then playing together, right? Lu Wei's last sentence suddenly rose in volume as she looked at Zhou Heng and Zhou Juniao. The two of them instantly nodded and agreed. Yes, that's right. Zhou Juniao looked at Zhou Heng's grandmother and said, Mom, you go upstairs and rest for a while later? You've been busy all morning. Grandma waved her hand. Oh, it's nothing. What's this? The five of them ate breakfast together, then cleaned up together. With the family working together, everything was done much faster. In just one morning, all the preparations were completed. Let's go. Son, let's play games. Zhou Juniao patted Zhou Heng's shoulder, inviting him to play. Zhou Heng didn't hesitate either, replying, coming. Afterward, the father and son went to play games. Lu Wei looked at them helplessly, shook her head, and sighed. Forget it. It's Chinese New Year. I won't fuss with you. Then, she looked at the obediently seated Yin Mingran and Zhou Heng's grandmother. Her eyes lit up, and she said, Mom, Ranran, let's go. Let's ignore them. I'll take you shopping. We'll go shopping. Okay. Min Gran nodded excitedly, readily agreeing. But Grandma waved her hand. You guys go, I won't. My back is a bit sore. I'll go lie down in my room. Ah, is that so? Then Mom, you rest well. I'll buy you a couple more new outfits. Go on, save some money, don't be so extravagant. Grandma stood up, stooping, and waved her hand. Min Gran quickly stood up and supported Grandma. Grandma, I'll help you back to rest. Lu Wei watched Ran's retreating figure, a satisfied look on her face. The more she looked, the more she liked her, wishing she could officially marry into their family immediately. Lu Wei suddenly thought of something, then quickly took out her phone and made a call. After a while, Min Gran returned, got dressed, and Lu Wei took her out. Lu Wei drove, and Min Gran sat in the passenger seat. Mom, where are we going? Min Gran was incredibly excited at the thought of going shopping alone with Lu Wei. Before we go shopping, let's visit an interesting place first. An interesting place? Min Gran was a little puzzled, but didn't ask further. After fastening her seatbelt, Lu Wei drove off with her. Their car drove for about 10 minutes, reaching the city center. Then, Lu Wei drove into a parking lot. We're here. Let's get out. We'll go look around there first. Lu Wei turned off the engine and pointed to the luxurious building opposite. Min Gran blinked, staring ahead for a long time, her lips slightly parted as she murmured, wedding dress. Huh. Ran's eyes instantly widened in surprise. She turned to look at Lu Wei, who was wearing a faint smile. She had been guessing all along where they were going. Turns out, they were going to a bridal shop. Wedding dresses. Weren't those for weddings? Who was getting married here? Besides herself, it couldn't be anyone else. But, was she getting married? Really? Come on, let's go take a look. Lu Wei got out of the car first, motioning for Min Gran to hurry and get out. Her idea was simple. Let Min Gran try on wedding dresses. After all, most girls loved wedding dresses. If Min Gran found one she liked, she would buy it on the spot. With the wedding dress already acquired, it wouldn't be too much to just hold the wedding, right? After all, it was already bought. Min Gran followed Lu Wei into the bridal shop. In an instant, warm golden light shone on the pristine white wedding dresses inside the display cases, appearing before Ran's eyes. Wow! Min Gran couldn't help but exclaim. The sight before her was something she had never seen before. She felt as if her eyes were sparkling after walking in. After the two entered, the sound of high heels approached. Min Gran looked up and saw a woman dressed opulently walking towards them. Her attire and demeanor made her appear so elegant and noble. Lu Wei made eye contact with the woman, smiled slightly, and walked toward her. Wei Wei, Jie. The two women called out to each other, clasped hands, their faces beaming with joyful smiles. Seeing this, Min Gran guessed that this woman was probably the owner of the bridal shop and an old acquaintance of Lu Wei. You haven't come to see me in ages. Why did you think of me today, on New Year's? Haven't I been busy? You know, this year I finally have some free time for New Year's. So, didn't I come see you? All right. You're busy. No one is busier than you. The woman smiled. Then her gaze shifted to Min Gran beside Lu Wei. At first glance, a hint of astonishment appeared, as if she was slightly surprised by Ran's remarkable beauty. And this is... Oh, let me introduce you. This is my daughter, Min Gran. Ran. You could just call her Auntie Jia. Auntie Jia, hello. Min Gran greeted her obediently, a smile on her face. The woman's eyes widened, and she paused for a moment. Then, she leaned close to Lu Wei's ear and whispered, Doesn't your family have a son? When did you get a daughter? Lu Wei smiled meaningfully and whispered back, Daughter-in-law. Oh my God, that little brat has a wife already? That's too fast. The woman couldn't help but exclaim, her face filled with surprise as she looked at Min Gran again. Hearing the woman's words, Min Gran felt a little shy, but mostly happy. However, the woman quickly came to her senses, looked at Lu Wei with a helpless expression, crossed her arms, and said, No wonder. I was thinking why you suddenly thought of me. You're here to pick out a wedding dress for your daughter-in-law. Huh, you're still the same as in college, only thinking of me at times like this. Oh, come on. Who said that? I came because I wanted to see you. Otherwise, why would I come to see you on New Year's Day? Right? Lu Wei quickly put her arm around her shoulder, laughed heartily, and offered a weak explanation. All right, I know you too well. If I got angry over such small things, I would have died of anger long ago. Come on, I'll show you around. The woman waved her hand, spoke lightly, then turned and gestured for them to follow. Lu Wei smiled awkwardly and followed with Min Gran. By the way, when's the wedding? Is the date set? The woman turned and asked, instantly stumping them both. Lu Wei couldn't answer. She hadn't thought that far ahead yet. She had just had a sudden whim at home. Since there wasn't much to do for New Year's, she decided to bring Mingran out to have a look. What she found a wedding dress she liked. Then they could just get married smoothly. Getting married would be a major event she had been concerned about, finally settled. And she could start worrying about the next big thing. Grandchildren. Lu Wei couldn't answer for a moment, and Mingran stood by, completely bewildered. Wedding date. When was it set? Was it really her and Zhou Heng getting married? Why didn't she know anything? But since Lu Wei had brought her, she didn't dare say anything if Lu Wei didn't speak. She just had to follow instructions. Maybe she really would get married just like that, inexplicably. Not set yet. We're just looking. They're both very busy with their studies right now, and my husband and I haven't had time to make specific arrangements. Lu Wei replied softly, temporarily brushing the matter aside. The two followed behind, looking left and right at the wedding dresses, almost overwhelmed by the sight. You don't need to look at these. Knowing Wei Wei's taste, she'll definitely want the best, right? I'll take you directly to see them. Then, the woman led the two to the elevator and took it to the 3rd floor. As soon as the elevator doors opened, the scene before them greatly astonished Mingran. The quality of the wedding dresses on this floor was incomparable to those on the 1st floor. Each display case was large, brightly lit, and adorned with various decorations that enhanced the beauty of the wedding dresses. Each had a unique design, but all shared a common characteristic: luxury. Mingran even saw some Chinese-style ones that looked like dragon robes. One might think you were about to ascend the throne wearing them. Take a look. If you like any, I'll have someone bring it out for you to try. Or you could try them all if you want. The woman smiled at Mingran, gesturing to the many wedding dresses behind her. Mingran's eyes were dazzled. Faced with so many wedding dresses, she simply couldn't choose. Every single one looked exceptionally good, stunning. She felt she would look beautiful in any of them. Lu Wei looked around, then reached out and pointed to several. This one, and that one. Bring them all out to try. This. The sales manager beside them was startled, hesitated for a second, and looked at the woman, the owner. She really couldn't decide to let them try on so many. After all, the cheapest one here cost over 100,000, and even a slight damage was unacceptable. She would usually refuse such a request directly, but this was a client brought by the owner. The woman nodded slightly, signaling her to get them. With the owner's approval, she could proceed with confidence and quickly arrange for people to bring out these wedding dresses. Please, bride-to-be, come with me to our fitting room. We will help you put on. Bride-to-be. Hearing this title made Mingran's little heart beat faster. Lu Wei gently patted Mingran's shoulder and said, Go on. Let me see how beautiful you are. After a while, Lu Wei received a call and went out to answer it. She returned about 10 minutes later. Pushing open the door, she walked in, and the scene before her made her eyes widen in astonishment, freezing her on the spot. Under the gentle lighting, it was as if a princess from a fairy tale stood there. Mingran stood obediently while staff members helped her adjust small details. The entire wedding dress looked incredibly elegant. A sweetheart neckline with long sleeves incorporated ruche tulle, natural pearls, and crystal diamonds, creating a luxurious sparkle. It exuded a palatial feel while the ruffles added a touch of lively romance. Full of intricate details, exquisite, instantly overflowing with an unparalleled sense of ceremony. The key was that it suited Mingran perfectly. The combination of her and the wedding dress was flawless. Even though Mingran wasn't wearing bridal makeup, she looked exceptionally charming. Mom, what do you think? Mingran saw the stunned Lu Wei in front of her and asked cautiously. Beautiful, beautiful. So beautiful. Lu Wei snapped back to reality, nodding repeatedly, and excitedly walked over, then took out her phone. Don't move, sweetheart. Lu Wei took a picture of Mingran, partly as a memento and partly wanting to use it as her wallpaper, and also to share it. Buzz, buzz. Zhou Heng, who was sitting on the sofa playing games, suddenly felt his phone vibrate in his pocket. Thinking it was a message from Mingran, Zhou Heng quickly took out his phone and glanced at it. It turned out to be from his mom. A photo. Zhou Heng opened the chat and saw the picture. Whoa, what's wrong? Zhou Junyao, who was beside him, heard Zhou Heng's exclamation and asked curiously. Nothing. It's just, I might be getting married. Oh, a grin spread across Zhou Junyao's face. He turned to look at Zhou Heng with interest and asked, What? Where did your mom take little Ran? They seem to have gone to try on wedding dresses. Zhou Heng saved the photo and quickly sent Mingran a message. Wifey, you're so beautiful. Smiling face with hard eyes, smiling face with hard eyes, smiling face with hard eyes. Then he put down his phone and continued playing his game. By the way, regarding this, I have something to tell you. Zhou Junyao expression suddenly turned grave, and his tone became somewhat serious. What's wrong? What is it? I hope you two don't rush into marriage yet. After hearing this, Zhou Heng wasn't too surprised. He nodded and said, Oh, about that. We've already discussed it. We won't be in such a hurry. We want enough time to prepare, and then enough time for a honeymoon. We don't have that time now, so we've postponed the idea. That's good. Also, I need your help. Not rushing you to get married is also because of this. Last time you called, that manager Zhang from the marketing department. Do you remember him? I remember. I heard he was fired, wasn't he? Zhou Heng still remembered helping Jingyu that time, which also happened to help rid his family's company of a pest, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Yes, I appointed a new manager for the inspection department. He's very capable and has almost completely rooted out Zhang Hongshuang's faction. But according to his investigation, it seems things are far from over. There seems to be a bigger protective umbrella above that group. They just didn't dare to confess. Bigger protective umbrella? Zhou Heng narrowed his eyes, sensing something was amiss. Actually, he had been a bit suspicious at the time. A mere manager. What right did he have to be so arrogant? In Juanheng, you could hit several managers with a single brick. Even if he were a fool, he wouldn't dare be so arrogant, right? All the investigation results now point to the same person. Who is it? Yu Yinghai. Damn. Seriously. Zhou Heng was truly stunned for a moment, his eyes wide with horror, a look of extreme shock on his face. That name sounded so familiar. Hearing that surname, he didn't even need to think. He already knew who it was. Wasn't it Yu Lingshue's father? When Bai Tsang was hospitalized before, he and Bai Tsang's father had talked about it. He had told him to be careful of this Yu Yinghai. He hadn't taken it seriously at the time, thinking it was just business competition, but looking at it now, it seemed this Yu Yinghai really had some problems. That friend of yours, Yu Lingxue, is his daughter. You heard from old Bai about why she and Bai Tsang suddenly appeared by her side, right? I heard, but I really didn't expect her father to be involved in these things. Although we have investigation results now, we still lack crucial evidence. We can't do anything to Yu Yinghai. Moreover, his network was largely dismantled this time, so he should lay low for a while, making it even harder to investigate. Then what can I help with? I hope you can gather some evidence from his daughter. The reason I don't want you to rush into marriage is because, as far as I know, Yu Yinghai hasn't given up on having Yu Lingxue get close to you. Not getting married just gives him the illusion that there's still a chance. As long as we can gather enough evidence, we can bring him down. Zhou Junyao put down the game controller, stood up, patted Zhou Heng's shoulder, and said, I'm paving the way for you. Only by bringing him down can you truly take over. Otherwise, with such an internal threat, trouble will sooner or later arise. I know. Zhou Heng nodded. He knew that what awaited him wasn't just simple status, fame, and wealth, but a series of difficulties waiting for him to overcome. Meanwhile, with Yin Minggran and Lu Wei, Yin Minggran had already tried on several wedding dresses. This had given Lu Wei plenty of photo opportunities. In the end, she even started taking pictures with the shop's camera, as if she were at a photo studio. Sweetheart, you've tried on so many. Is there one you like? Lu Wei looked at Yin Minggran expectantly, asking eagerly, because as long as Yin Minggran had the idea of getting married, she could easily arrange it. Mom, about that. Actually, Zhou Heng and I have already discussed it. Right now, we're not in a hurry to get married. Yin Minggran said softly, then lowered her head, not daring to look Lu Wei in the eye. She knew very well why Lu Wei had brought her here, but she still wanted to respect Zhou Heng's wishes. In her heart, Zhou Heng's position was number 1, unshakable, not even by her mother. Lu Wei was stunned for a moment, looking at Yin Minggran before her. Then, she let out a breath, a faint smile playing on her lips. All right, I understand. As long as you two have discussed it, Mom won't rush you. In the evening, during the New Year's Eve dinner, the family sat around the dining table, creating a particularly lively atmosphere. Seeing this scene, which she hadn't witnessed in a long time, Yin Minggran felt so emotional she wanted to cry. She also thought that if there was nothing to do tomorrow or the day after, she would go visit her parents. It was Chinese New Year, and she wanted to spend some time with them too. That place was now Juanheng's territory. Juanheng had taken it over, hired professionals to assess the feng shui, and then renovated it. For this, Yin Minggran was very grateful. Zhou Heng's family had never even met her parents, yet they already treated them like family. So, being at Zhou Heng's home felt just like being in her own home, warm and familiar. Buzz, Yi Mingran's phone received a message. She opened it and saw it was from her aunt, whom she hadn't seen in a long time. Song Wan, her maternal aunt, lived abroad. After seeing her that time in high school, she hadn't seen her again. They would occasionally exchange messages during holidays, but didn't usually contact each other. Happy New Year! Ran, how have you been lately? In this festive atmosphere, receiving care from a relative was a very happy thing for Yi Mingran. Yi Mingran smiled and replied to her, and the two chatted for a while. At the dinner table, they talked a lot, from the past to the present, and then to the future. It was always cheerful. Lu Wei even asked Zhou Heng and Yi Mingran to tell the story of how they got together, which made Yi Mingran quite embarrassed, her face turning bright red. Except for Grandma, the other four had all had a little to drink. Yi Mingran hadn't drunk in a long time, so she felt a bit dizzy after just a little. After another hour or so, Yi Mingran was already leaning on Zhou Heng's shoulder, her eyes closed, dozing off. Because Zhou Junyao and Lu Wei had to go back to the company the next day, they didn't stay up very late. After cleaning up, they went back to their respective rooms to rest. All right, time to go back to sleep, wifey. Zhou Heng supported Yi Mingran, led her back to his room, and then gently placed her on the bed. Yi Mingran lay on the bed, eyes closed, breathing evenly. Her face was still flushed, looking delicate and alluring. Zhou Heng looked at Yi Mingran before him, pursed his lips, a mischievous idea seemingly popping into his head. He then reached out and lifted both her arms above her head. Yi Mingran was wearing a knitted sweater. Where her arms were lifted, her slender waist was exposed. Her head was also slightly tilted, and faint nasal sounds emanated from her. Seeing Yi Mingran's alluring appearance at this moment, a wave of desire ignited within Zhou Heng. He leaned down, wrapped an arm around Yi Mingran's waist, while his other hand gently lifted her head, and then he kissed her. Mwah! The gentle kiss made Yi Mingran's eyes slowly open. As her vision gradually cleared, she saw Zhou Heng's face. Hubby. She let out a soft moan, then wrapped her arms directly around Zhou Heng's neck, looking at him with hazy eyes, and whispered, "Shall we go to sleep now?" A faint smile played on Zhou Heng's lips as he said, "Okay, then take off your clothes. It's so uncomfortable sleeping with clothes on." You help me." After a soft hum, Yi Mingran released Zhou Heng, spread her arms, and lay flat on the bed, waiting for him. "Ha, you want me to help you? If I do it, I won't be so well-behaved, and you can forget about sleeping." After Zhou Heng finished speaking, Yi Mingran's legs suddenly wrapped around his waist. Looking at her face, her cheeks were tinged with an alluring blush. She gently bit her crimson lips, raised an eyebrow, her eyes full of playful warmth. "I want you to be naughty. On this festive New Year's night, someone set off the first firecracker of the new year. On the first day of the Lunar New Year, people woke up early, tidied up, put on new clothes, and prepared to visit relatives. Zhou Heng and Yi Mingran were awakened early in the morning by the sound of message notifications. They opened their eyes to see a huge number of New Year's greeting messages, among which were messages from several close friends. Hubby, Tang Ji, sister Shunlini, Yuling Xue, and Jing, you all want to come see us." Yi Mingran glanced at the messages on her phone, utterly stunned. After Tang Ji and Shunlini wished Yi Mingran a happy new year, they asked if the two of them would be home today, as they wanted to come visit with their families. Yuling Xue and Jing Yu were the same, asking for Yi Mingran's home address, as they also wanted to come and offer New Year greetings and gifts. Zhou Heng cleared his throat, opened his phone, and glanced at it, saying, "Bai Tsang wants to come too. Why are they all coming on the same day? Eager to give gifts, I suppose." Zhou Heng sat up, well aware of their intentions. For people like Yuling Xue, Bai Tsang, and Jing Yu, it was obvious they were coming to give gifts. Tang Ji and Shunlini might just be coming to hang out with Yi Mingran, though that couldn't be guaranteed. So, should we let them come? Yuling Xue and Jing Yu are already asking for my address. Yi Mingran looked at Zhou Heng, seeking his opinion. Zhou Heng nodded and said, "Of course, let them. It's Chinese New Year. There's no reason to turn guests away. Come on, let's have a get-together at our place today." Okay. Yi Mingran was very happy to have so many people over. Zhou Heng also gave Bai Tsang a location and contacted Liao Haomiao and the others. However, Liao Haomiao and his group weren't free today. They also had to visit relatives, so they couldn't make it and would have to meet another day. In an instant, a large group of people headed towards Zhou Heng's house. Zhou Heng and Yi Mingran had no time to laze in bed. They quickly got up, tidied themselves, washed up, and put on new clothes. When they went downstairs, they found that Zhou Junyao and Lu Wei had already left for the company. This was actually good. Otherwise, if that group saw them, everyone would probably feel constrained. Good morning, Grandma. At this time, Zhou Heng's grandmother was already tidying up the house. Tea was brewed on the coffee table, and fruits and snacks were laid out, creating a very festive New Year atmosphere. Up so early? Grandma squinted and smiled when she saw the two come downstairs. We have to be. Many guests are coming later. Zhou Heng shook his head and sat down on the sofa. About 30 minutes later, the first guest arrived, Tang Ji and her mother, Zhou Yalan. They were carrying quite a few things. Upon seeing Zhou Heng's grandmother, Zhou Yalan immediately bowed respectfully and said, Auntie, Happy New Year. Tang Ji also followed behind, greeting Great-Grandma, Happy New Year. Hey, little Lan is here. Oh my, isn't this little Tang Ji? It's been so long. You've become so beautiful. Zhou Heng's grandmother came from inside to greet them, her eyes crinkling into lines as she smiled. Hearing the voices, Zhou Heng and the others also quickly got up and came out. Upon seeing Zhou Yalan, they immediately offered New Year greetings. Auntie, Happy New Year. Auntie, Happy New Year. Hey, Happy New Year to you both. Zhou Yalan smiled and nodded. It had been a long time, and she was still very fond of seeing them again. Come in, sit down, come in and sit. After inviting them in, Zhou Yalan craned her neck, looking around, and asked, Where are my elder brother and sister-in-law? They left early this morning. The company is busy. Grandma sighed, poured them a cup of tea, and replied, Is that so? Well, there's really no helping it. It's already quite something that they could find time to come back for New Year's. Tang Ji looked at Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran and asked, Others will be coming too, right? Yin Mingran raised an eyebrow and said, You guessed it. Of course, it would be strange if they didn't come. I'm definitely the first one here. The second one should be Sister Shenlini, right? Just as Tang Ji finished speaking, voices were heard at the door. The arrivals were indeed Shenlini and her mother, Lu Ling. They had also prepared many things. After entering, they greeted everyone. Lu Ling and Zhou Yalan also knew each other. They exchanged smiles and sat down to chat. Happy New Year, everyone. Shenlini looked at Zhou Heng, Yin Mingran, and Tang Ji in front of her, greeted them softly, a faint smile on her lips. Seeing Shenlini like this, Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran were very gratified. On this day last year, when they visited Shenlini, she was still severely socially anxious, had no friends, no one to talk to, and hardly ever went out. But after getting to know Yin Mingran, and after a year had passed, she was now able to go out with her mother to visit relatives. Lu Ling was extremely surprised by Shenlini's change. This year had brought her too many surprises. Otherwise, as a mother, seeing her daughter in her previous state had been particularly distressing. She knew this was all thanks to Yin Mingran and Zhou Heng, and her gratitude towards them was far beyond what words could express. Guess who will be next? Tang Ji brought up a topic, asking them to guess who would arrive next. Yuling Xue? Baicong? Oh right, and Jingyu. I didn't expect her to come too. Zhou Heng hadn't expected Jingyu to come on the first day of the Lunar New Year. It seemed she really valued her relationship with them. The four of them chatted happily together, especially when they talked about two people, Su Pengyi and Qin Kuan. When these two were mentioned, Tang Ji burst out laughing, while Shenlini fell into helpless silence. Didn't I add him as a friend? Then a couple of days ago, I saw him post on his moments. An official announcement, hands clasped, the other hand probably belonging to that Qin Kuan. Tang Ji took out her phone, scrolled through her moments, and then found a photo posted by Su Pengyi, showing two hands tightly clasped. So disgusting. Shenlini really couldn't understand. She bit her lip, a look of disgust on her face. She truly hadn't expected Qin Kuan to be that kind of person. Zhou Heng actually admired Baicong the most, sighing, truly impressive. Baicong is quite a character. What exactly happened? Hubby, you haven't told me yet. Yin Mingran listened, completely bewildered. She didn't understand what they were talking about. Baicong, Su Pengyi, Qin Kuan. Then, the three of them began to tell Yin Mingran the story of what happened between the three men, leaving Yin Mingran utterly stunned. Zhou Heng knew the feeling well. The first time he heard it, he had the same reaction, even suspecting it was a made-up story. I don't quite understand, but it feels very complicated, very impressive. Yin Mingran shook her head, saying blankly. After a while, Yuling Xue and Baicong both arrived. They had met at the door and, after a few bickering words, came in together. After greeting the elders, they came to hang out with Zhou Heng and the others. Everyone's gaze focused on Baicong. What's wrong? Everyone. Baicong felt a bit awkward being stared at by the others, thinking there was something on his face. You're different. Zhou Heng spoke first, pursing his lips and sighing. Bai Song at this moment truly felt somewhat different, whether it was a state, temperament, or attire, all leaning more towards the masculine side. The former Bai Song had a touch of androgynous beauty. Tall and thin, coupled with his handsome looks, he gave off the impression of a pretty boy, a little fresh meat. Even without speaking, others might mistake him for being a bit effeminate. But now, he was vastly different from before. He dressed more maturely, and his temperament no longer showed any hint of effeminacy. Even the words he had just spoken were much deeper. Bai Song realized what Zhou Hong meant and awkwardly lowered his head, not daring to speak. The thought of Zhou Hong knowing his secret made his head ache. He didn't know what Zhou Hong would think of him, whether he would see him as a freak from now on. After being discharged from the hospital, he had talked with his father. His father, Bai Zhongji, had said that he didn't need to join Juanheng anymore. He should be free and happy. This meant he no longer carried those pressures. However, upon hearing this news, he hadn't slacked off because he still aimed to join Juanheng. Even if he couldn't be Zhou Heng's secretary, he still had to try his best to climb up to see how far he could get with his own abilities without relying on his father or connections. His current feelings for Zhou Hong were purely about wanting to be good friends. He didn't think about anything else. So after some thought, he raised his head, glanced at Zhou Hong, scanned the others, and said with a serious expression, "I want to say, I'm sorry. No matter how you saw me before, I hope you can give me a chance to prove that I'm a normal person. I still want to be good friends with all of you. This should be the place, right?" A car pulled up to Zhou Heng's doorstep. The driver was Jing Yu's manager, Gubo. Jing Yu was sitting in the back, beautifully dressed. There were many prepared gifts behind her, placed there because the trunk couldn't hold them all. Usually a chauffeur drove, but today Gubo drove personally. He knew the importance of today. Ever since the incident at the Juanheng event last time, their company had established a close cooperative relationship with Juanheng, all thanks to Jing Yu. Consequently, Jing Yu's status had skyrocketed, instantly becoming the company's top model. Previously, Jing Yu had to be mindful of Gubo's expressions, but since that incident, Gubo had started to be mindful of Jing Yu's. Who knew when she had gotten to know the Juanheng chairman's son and become friends with him? Her connections were truly excellent. Coming to deliver gifts today was Jing Yu's idea. She had inquired with Yu Ling Xue and Tang Ji beforehand and learned that they were all going today. So, she also chose today. This way, it wouldn't seem too abrupt, very natural, just as if she were going to hang out. Otherwise, if she went alone, she would still be a little afraid of embarrassment. The address should be correct. I'll go take a look. Jing Yu looked at her phone, nodded, and said. Gubo quickly opened the car door and said, "Okay, I'll get the things." He was also very sensible and went to get the gifts. They weren't just representing Jing Yu alone, but the entire company, so the prepared items were very good, very valuable, not at all careless. Jing Yu walked ahead, arriving at the door, still feeling a bit apprehensive. She knew her act of giving gifts to get closer was too obvious. After all, their relationship probably wasn't close enough to visit on the first day of the Lunar New Year, right? She didn't know what Zhou Hong and Yin Minggran would think of her, whether they would think she was the type who didn't care about friendship, only about benefits. Jing Yu stood at the door, hesitating for a long time before finally ringing the doorbell. After a while, footsteps were heard, followed by the sound of the door opening. The one who opened the door was Zhou Heng's grandmother. Seeing the girl who appeared before her, she instantly understood. Another one here to see Zhou Hong and the others, right? Grandma hadn't expected Zhou Hong to have so many friends coming to visit him during the New Year. "Hello, I'm looking for Zhou Hong. Little Ran, another friend has come to see you." Before Jing Yu could finish her sentence, Grandma called out to the inside. Hearing the another, Jing Yu knew everyone else had already arrived. This reassured her a little. As long as there were others, it was fine. "Coming, Grandma." Yin Minggran quickly trotted over. Seeing Jing Yu standing at the door, she smiled and waved. "Hi. You're here." Jing Yu was invited in, greeted everyone with New Year wishes. Gubo also met everyone, brought all the things inside, and then went out. He wouldn't be a spoilsport here. He knew he would only be in the way. The group had a good time at Zhou Heng's house. They had lunch together at home, then chatted, played cards, and stayed quite late. After spending the day together, their relationships grew closer, even reaching a point where they could talk about anything. When it was about time, everyone started to leave. They didn't plan to trouble them any further. They had already had a lot of fun today. When it was time to see everyone off, Yu Ling Xue was the last one. As she reached the door, preparing to leave, Zhou Hong gave Yin Minggran a look, a slight gesture. Yin Minggran immediately understood, walked up, and stopped Yu Ling Xue, who was about to leave. Yu Ling Xue, wait a moment, stay, and chat a bit longer. Error. Only asking her to stay and chat. Okay then. I'm not in a hurry to go back anyway. Yuling Shue didn't refuse, nodded, and walked back. Grandma had already gone to bed. She slept relatively early. So now, in the downstairs hall, only Zhou Heng, Yi Minggran, and Yuling Shue remained. The previously lively atmosphere had become so quiet, even a bit deserted, making Yuling Shue somewhat nervous. She had a feeling that what they were about to discuss wasn't just idle chat. Although Zhou Heng's face always wore a kind smile, looking relaxed, not like he was about to discuss anything serious, Yuling Shue was already guessing what it might be. Zhou Heng poured Yuling Shue a cup of tea, then looked at her and asked, "Where did you spend the New Year? At your mom's place?" Yes, I went back to my mom's. Ahem. Dad sighed. They're quite busy, no time for New Year's. Yuling Shue nodded and replied, "Is that so? Then, didn't you and your father call each other or anything?" "We did chat, but it wasn't very pleasant, so we didn't call many times." Yuling Shue remembered that a few days ago, her father, Yu Yinghai, had called her, asking what she was thinking now, whether there was still a chance to make a move on Zhou Heng. She really didn't understand why her father was so insistent on doing something to Zhou Heng. Was it just to use her as a tool to control Zhou Heng? She had resolutely refused at the time, and, in her urgency, she had even told her father that she wouldn't go to Juanheng in the future. After all, her goal was already to go to Huzhou, to Tianheng in Huzhou, Zhou Heng's mother's company, to work with Yi Minggran in the future, to work for her. There was no need to get involved in the muddy waters of Juanheng. No need to be so tired, to stay away from the scheming and infighting. But after saying this, Yu Yinghai's anger was instantly ignited. He furiously berated Yuling Shue for a long time, and they parted on bad terms. Yuling Shue hung up the phone, not wanting to listen to her father's abuse anymore. Yuling Shue didn't know why Zhou Heng was asking this. He should know that her father was Juanheng's vice president. Was he asking because he had something about Juanheng to tell her? Zhou Heng nodded and asked, "So, does that mean your relationship with your father is not very good?" Pretty much. We don't see eye to eye. Our ways of thinking and ideas are quite different. Sometimes, I can't agree with his methods. Then, if, suppose, some of his methods are really out of line, would you stand against him? Stand against him? Yuling Shue was taken aback, not understanding what Zhou Heng meant. To stand against her own father, that meant to become his enemy, right? Although she disagreed with some of her father's actions, and their relationship wasn't good, she wouldn't go as far as becoming his enemy. Would she? It's nothing, just asking casually. Zhou Heng waved his hand, promptly stopping the topic, not continuing further, because he could already sense that saying more would change things, and it might also lead to the failure of certain matters due to his own actions. Subsequently, Yi Minggran very quickly took over the conversation, chatting with Yuling Shue about other things, diverting her attention, making Yuling Shue truly believe that Zhou Heng had just been making small talk. So, she didn't take it to heart. Yi Minggran chatted with Yuling Shue for about another 20 minutes before they finished, and Yuling Shue went home. After seeing everyone off, the two of them felt somewhat exhausted. In previous New Year's, they were the ones visiting others, playing at other people's houses. Why had it turned into everyone coming to play at their place this year? They had entertained this group of people for the entire day and were genuinely a bit tired. The two quickly tidied up, then went to take a shower. After showering, they returned to their room to prepare for bed. Lying in bed, Zhou Heng didn't close his eyes, staring at the ceiling, still thinking about what had just happened. "Hubby, what's going on?" Only then did Yi Minggran ask Zhou Heng for the reason. Actually, from the moment Zhou Heng wanted to keep Yuling Shue back to chat, she hadn't known why. It was only because she had such good rapport with Zhou Heng that just one look from him was enough for her to understand, to promptly keep Yuling Shue, and to quickly jump in and change the subject when Zhou Heng wanted to shift topics. Only now did Yi Minggran ask for the reason. Oh right, Zhou Heng had even forgotten that Yi Minggran didn't know the reason at all. After all, her cooperation had been too good, as if she already knew. Then, Zhou Heng told Yi Minggran what his father had told him yesterday. After hearing it, Yi Minggran wasn't too surprised, but frowned, and fell into thought. "So, you hope Yuling Shue can help us deal with her father?" "I don't think that's very likely. He's her biological father after all. I was just planning to test the waters first. I've now discovered there's a chance it's not impossible." "Really? It just needs time. My dad also said Yuling Shue's father will lay low for a while. This period could be short, or it could be long, possibly 3 to 5 years. He needs time to redevelop his influence, so there's no rush for her to switch sides." Zhou Heng nodded, replying softly, Through his observation, he had already seen that Yu Ling Xuem might help them. It was just a bit unlikely right now. This could only be achieved by them slowly working on it. But, to put it another way, if we don't solve this problem, does that mean we can't get married? When Yin Mingran heard Zhou Heng say they couldn't get married for now, her heart still couldn't help but beat faster for a few moments. Zhou Heng turned over, facing Yin Mingran, then reached out and hugged her, whispering in her ear, "It's just that we won't have the wedding ceremony for now, but we can get our marriage certificate first." Oh right. Yin Mingran's eyes lit up. She remembered, even if they got married now, the law still wouldn't recognize it. Only when they got their marriage certificate would the law recognize them as a legal couple. Only then would they truly be considered husband and wife. So for her, it seemed getting the certificate first was something she looked forward to even more. Yeah, I still have 2 years until I reach the age. When I reach that age, on that very day, we'll go get her certificate, okay? Okay. Yin Mingran hugged Zhou Heng, gently rubbing her forehead against his chest, as if acting cute. Time will still pass quickly, right? After all, our school days are almost never idle. It feels like every day passes very quickly. Zhou Heng thought about it. He hadn't really experienced much of university life. The first semester of university had ended just like that. It felt like high school graduation was just yesterday, so he still felt that time passed very quickly. It doesn't matter, Yin Mingran said softly, then looked up at Zhou Heng and continued. Whether time passes quickly or slowly, whether it's short or long, we will spend it together. So no matter how long it is, I don't feel it's long. The time spent with you, the slower the better, because I want to cherish every second with you. Mwah. Then, Yin Mingran leaned her head forward and kissed Zhou Heng on the lips, giggling. Zhou Heng's arms held Yin Mingran tightly, their bodies pressed close, inevitably leading to some friction, especially since Yin Mingran was deliberately rubbing against him. Wifey, you always say these things, it's hard for me to control myself. Just as Zhou Heng finished speaking, Yin Mingran suddenly flipped over, turning Zhou Heng onto his back, and then sat directly on top of him. She leaned down close to Zhou Heng, her soft tongue gently touching his ear. Then don't control yourself. The next few days passed peacefully. Everyone else started to get busy with other things. Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran didn't have much to do, so they went around playing. After a few more days, one evening, Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran were lying in bed, playing on their phones, when Zhou Heng suddenly received a message. Liang Jiaxiang. Seeing his contact name, Zhou Heng remembered that they had met before the new year, had a meal together, and seemed to have agreed to hang out after the new year. Are you there? Are you two free tomorrow? We agreed before the new year. Shall we go skiing? Wifey, Liang Jiaxiang is asking us to go skiing tomorrow. Shall we go? Zhou Heng really wanted to go, but he still had to ask Yin Mingran's opinion. Skiing? I don't really know how. Yin Mingran pursed her lips, turned her head to look at Zhou Heng, blinking her eyes. It's okay, I can teach you. Really? Hubby, how come you know everything? You're so amazing. Yin Mingran looked at Zhou Heng with eyes full of admiration, genuinely feeling that Zhou Heng was truly amazing. It seemed like there was nothing he couldn't do. No, I just played a little before. Zhou Heng was praised, and instantly felt his heart bloom with joy. Yin Mingran saw Zhou Heng's expression and knew he really wanted to go, so she smiled slightly and said, "Okay, let's go play then." Early the next morning, the two got up and packed. They had agreed on a meeting place and would then go to the ski resort together. Besides the two of them and the inviter, Liang Jiaxiang, Lu Yinshua was also said to be coming, also invited by Liang Jiaxiang. After all, their relationship was quite good, and Liang Jiaxiang had only dared to invite him after getting Zhou Heng's and the others' consent. Lu Yinshua had originally intended to refuse. He was extremely afraid of Zhou Heng. But Liang Jiaxiang had done some psychological work on him, encouraging him to be braver and overcome his inner fear of Zhou Heng. Reluctantly, Lu Yinshua had agreed. Only the four of them were going out this time. Zhou Heng didn't invite anyone else. Liang Jiaxiang didn't know some of the others, and since he was the one inviting, it would be a bit inappropriate for Zhou Heng to bring more people. After getting ready, Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran went out, heading to their agreed meeting spot. The ski resort wasn't far, so they agreed to meet at the entrance of the subway station. Liang Jiaxiang and Lu Yinshua had already been there for a while. Although they had agreed to meet at 8, both had tacitly arrived at 7:30. They would rather wait an extra half hour than make Zhou Heng and his companion wait. Lu Yinshua shivered in the cold, rubbing his arms, and looked at the nearby subway station, muttering, "You're still making them take the subway? Would they be willing? It's good enough that they accepted your invitation. You should have hired a private car to pick them up." All right, shut up. You'll get a belly full of cold wind later, and you'll quiet down when your stomach hurts. If you keep flattering them so stiffly, they'll dislike it even more, you know? Liang Jiaxiang glared at him. Lu Yinchua had already said many similar things, insanely elevating Zhou Heng and endlessly demeaning himself, to the point of extreme self-deprecation. The Lu Yinchua he knew wasn't like this. Now, although he wasn't as foolish or reckless, being overly self-deprecating was also a bit annoying. Yes, you know best. You're only saying this because you haven't suffered. This is a well-intentioned reminder, really. Lu Yinchua turned his head, muttered, and ignored Liang Jiaxiang, simultaneously thinking that Liang Jiaxiang understood nothing, mocking his ignorant fearlessness. The two waited for about 5 more minutes, around 7:50-something, when they saw Zhou Heng and Yin Minggran walking over hand in hand in the distance. Ahem. Lu Yinchua quickly straightened his appearance, afraid that his disheveled look would make Zhou Heng and his companion think he was impolite. Liang Jiaxiang, however, was more relaxed. He waved from afar, greeting Zhou Heng and his companion. You too. You're here. Zhou Heng waved back, smiled, and said, We're here. You guys arrived even earlier. When the two reached them, Lu Yinchua quickly bowed slightly and greeted, Good morning. Morning. Zhou Heng seemed to pay no mind to his demeanor, casually responding. Liang Jiaxiang, on the other hand, stood there and rolled his eyes at Lu Yinchua, feeling he was overdoing it. Let's set off. Then, Liang Jiaxiang led the way into the subway station. Zhou Heng and Yin Minggran followed closely behind, while Lu Yinchua trailed at the very back, like a bodyguard. Yin Minggran glanced behind her, then gently nudged Zhou Heng with her elbow and whispered, Hubby, he seems to have been scared by you. It feels like he doesn't even dare to look you in the eye. Zhou Heng had actually noticed long ago, but he remained indifferent, saying lightly, Serves him right. For people like him, a beating is letting him off easy. His current state is because my mom intervened in this matter and settled it for me. What if she hadn't? What do you think would have happened to him then? Hearing Zhou Heng's words, Yin Minggran thought seriously for a moment before speaking. He probably would have held a grudge against you and tried to get revenge. Exactly. So he's not worthy of pity. Let him be however he wants. I don't care. Accepting his apology and not pursuing the matter is already very merciful of me. Hubby, you're right. Their conversation was very quiet, unheard by any third person. So, Lu Yinchua was still preening behind them, thinking himself clever and worldly wise. How could someone like Liang Jiaxiang, who didn't understand social graces or how to be tactful, compare to him? Walking in front of important people? How disrespectful was that? He should slowly learn from his own emotional intelligence and way of handling things. The four of them boarded the subway together. The morning subway was still quite crowded. After getting on, Zhou Heng protected Yin Minggran from being squeezed. They didn't care about small things like a crowded subway. They had often taken the subway when going out to play before. It was normal for the subway to be crowded and have no seats. They didn't mind. However, the emperor wasn't worried, but the eunuch was. In Lu Yinchua's mind, he was already getting agitated on Zhou Heng's behalf, thinking that making Zhou Heng and Yin Minggran squeeze onto the subway was the worst idea. When Zhou Heng lost his temper later, he'd see how Liang Jiaxiang would handle it. He himself had to perform well, so even if Zhou Heng got angry, he wouldn't be blamed. Thus, a scene unfolded where Zhou Heng protected Yin Minggran, and Lu Yinchua protected Zhou Heng. Liang Jiaxiang even saw Lu Yinchua cast a triumphant look at him, as if proud of his own performance. What the heck is he doing? Liang Jiaxiang's mouth twitched. He muttered in confusion, originally thinking Lu Yinchua had completely changed, but now it seemed he was still a bit dim-witted. After about 20 minutes, they arrived at their stop. They got off the subway, then hailed a taxi outside the station and headed straight for the ski resort. Upon arriving at the ski resort, they bought tickets and went in. It was Yin Minggran's first time in such a place, so she held Zhou Heng's hand tightly, letting him lead her. Zhou Heng bought new protective gear for everything. After changing, they took the cable car to the mountaintop. It was divided into several areas of different difficulty levels. To accommodate Yin Minggran, Zhou Heng took her to the easiest area. The slope wasn't steep, nor was it long. Many children were playing here. Zhou Heng was on a snowboard, while Yin Minggran was on the relatively simpler skis. Despite this, she still found it difficult to move. Hubby, what do I do? Yin Minggran's voice trembled slightly. Her legs felt like they weren't listening to her, inching forward bit by bit, but she was still afraid of falling. Seeing Yin Minggran like this, Zhou Heng chuckled, then came in front of her, grabbed her wrists, and gently guided her forward on the skis. Whoa, Whoa. Min Gran was like an excited child, her eyes seemingly sparkling, and exclamations occasionally escaped her lips. She looked very happy. I'll ski with you. Zhou Heng supported Ran's body and skied down the slope with her, accompanied by her excited cheers. Anyway, with Zhou Heng protecting her, Min Gran felt very safe and wasn't afraid at all, so she enjoyed it thoroughly, relishing the feeling. After reaching the bottom, Min Gran looked at Zhou Heng and said expectantly, "Hubby, I want to watch you ski. Let me see. You must look so cool." What's so cool about it? Just playing around." "All right then, you wait here." Zhou Heng patted his head, then returned to the top of the slope, while Min Gran waited below, ready to watch. Then, she saw Zhou Heng glide down on his board. His whole body was very stable, his speed not slow, and he maintained balance with slight body movements. Wow! Ran's eyes seemed to have stars in them as she watched Zhou Heng's figure, her mouth agape, a look of infatuation on her face. Swish! Arriving at the bottom, Zhou Heng kicked his back leg forward, the back edge of his snowboard acting as a brake, instantly kicking up a large cloud of snow. He then came to a steady stop in front of Min Gran. Zhou Heng took off his goggles, smiled slightly, and said, "How was it?" "Wow, hubby, you're so cool." Min Gran directly threw her arms around Zhou Heng's neck, jumped up excitedly, and shouted, all right, hot." Zhou Heng's heart was blooming with joy, and he couldn't stop smiling. Every time Min Gran praised him like this, he couldn't hide his happiness. "Really? So cool. I love it." Min Gran was almost hanging on his Zhou Heng. The two of them pressed tightly together, not feeling the cold, even in the snow. "All right, wifey, let's go. I'll continue to ski with you." Zhou Heng and Min Gran had a great time playing. Meanwhile, Liang Jiaxiang and Lu Yunxua were a bit uncomfortable. Liang Jiaxiang knew how to ski, but Lu Yunxua didn't, so Liang Jiaxiang had been teaching him. In the end, Liang Jiaxiang got so angry that he told him to just go down on a snow tube. Zhou Heng played with Min Gran in the easy area for a long time. Min Gran gradually got the hang of balancing and could slowly ski down by herself without Zhou Heng's support. She also fully experienced the fun of this activity. It was indeed very enjoyable. Then they moved to the area where most people played. The slope here was moderate, suitable for adults, but quite a few people still fell here. You could see someone falling down every now and then. Fortunately, they had protective gear, otherwise, a fall could be quite serious. Under Zhou Heng's protection, Min Gran didn't get hurt much and had a blast. Even if she occasionally fell, it didn't hurt much. After all, her speed wasn't fast, and she would just sit up laughing after falling. When they reached the top again, they met Liang Jiaxiang and Lu Yunxua, who were also coming up. "Hello, you two. How's it going?" Liang Jiaxiang spoke first, asking about Zhou Heng and his companion's situation. Their feedback was very good, which reassured Liang Jiaxiang. After entering the ski resort, they had gone their separate ways. Although they came together, he also hoped the two of them could have some private time. However, he was afraid that doing so and not taking care of Zhou Heng and his companion might cause their dissatisfaction. But since they were also having a good time and had no complaints, he was relieved. Lu Yunxua, on the side, seemed to be having a less enjoyable time. He was covered in snow and couldn't even stand up straight. It was hard to imagine how many times he had fallen. His face showed extreme pain as he kept rubbing his leg. Zhou Heng, who had originally wanted to play a bit longer, then looked to the side and saw the big ski run at the very edge. Pointing there, he said, "Over there. There are so few people." It looked very wide, but there were only a few people. Liang Jiaxiang glanced at it and replied, "That's a special feature of this ski resort. It's a very long ski run, about 2 kilometers. I heard it's incredibly thrilling to ski down." "Oh, is that so?" Zhou Heng nodded in realization, staring at the ski run, a hint of yearning surfacing in his heart. His thrill-seeking heart seemed to beat faster again. After hesitating for a moment, Zhou Heng made up his mind. "I want to go play over there." Min Gran subconsciously tried to stop Zhou Heng, whispering, "Maybe not. Hubby, it looks a bit dangerous." "It's okay, just once." Zhou Heng still felt an urge to try, so he headed over there, preparing to give a shot. The others followed. Min Gran still felt a little worried in her heart. Just looking at this long ski run was somewhat alarming. "I'm going. Wish me luck." Zhou Heng waved to the three behind him, then directly skied down. The starting point of the ski run was a very steep slope, so his start was very fast. For some reason, after Zhou Heng started, Ran's heart suddenly twinged. She frowned tightly, her expression grave, lips pressed firmly together, her heartbeat constantly accelerating. Woo! Zhou Heng's speed was very fast. Due to inertia, his speed increased more and more. By the middle, he had reached almost 50 miles per hour. It was indeed thrilling, exhilarating, making his adrenaline surge. However, at this point, he was already trying his best to control his balance. Feeling the cold wind whipping against his face, there was even a faint sensation of pain. His skiing skills weren't actually that good. He had only played a few times and had never skied such a long and steep run. Moreover, his vision was becoming a bit blurry. The snowflakes on the ground kept flying up, obstructing his view. In an instant, he sensed something was wrong. It was like a momentary premonition that suddenly appeared in his mind. Just 1 second after this premonition appeared, his body's center of gravity shifted to the other side of his ski's edge. The edge of his ski directly caught in the snow, breaking instantly. He caught an edge. Bang! The next second, his entire body pitched forward, uncontrollably. His eyes widened. In that instant, he realized that if he didn't take measures quickly, he was done for. Catching an edge at such a speed meant a very dangerous situation awaited him. It was very easy to break ribs, suffer internal bleeding, and rupture his spleen. If he hit his head, he could very well get a concussion, or even amnesia. I'm doomed. Zhou Heng's subconscious physical reaction made his body instantly flip to one side. He should have slammed his entire chest onto the ground, which would have caused massive damage to his chest and head. But after his sideways flip, his arm cushioned the fall. Bang! Zhou Heng fell hard, his body rolling a few times before stopping, lying there motionless. In Mingran's heart suddenly tightened. Her whole body trembled, her eyes widened, and her legs went weak, nearly making her unable to stand. Damn it! Zhou Heng, Liang Jiaxiang shouted. Then he and Lu Yunxuo quickly ran out. They were so nervous they were about to die. They couldn't even run steadily. When they reached Zhou Heng, they squatted down, wanting to help him up, but they heard his miserable cry. Don't move. Don't move. Zhou Heng couldn't move at all now. His body was weak, and his arm was in excruciating pain. The pain was so intense his facial features were contorted. He gritted his teeth, and even though it was snowy, his forehead was sweating from the pain. Hubby, are you okay? Woo! In Mingran followed closely, rushing to Zhou Heng's side, kneeling directly on the ground, her hands afraid to touch Zhou Heng, so anxious that tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. I've called an ambulance. It'll be here soon. Soon, the ambulance arrived and took them all away. After arriving at the hospital, Zhou Heng was immediately taken to the emergency room. After an examination, Zhou Heng's right arm was fractured. His body was also covered in bruises, but there were no major injuries. The doctor said it was a blessing in disguise, thanks to Zhou Heng's last-second maneuver, protecting his head and chest, otherwise he could have been seriously injured. After surgery, Zhou Heng was admitted to the hospital, into a single room. When Yin Mingran returned to the hospital room with some things, she met eyes with Zhou Heng, who was sitting on the hospital bed. Zhou Heng had a cast on, his right arm now like a large block of marble, hanging from his neck, unable to move. Zhou Heng glanced at Yin Mingran, then lowered his head, pursing his lips, his face full of embarrassment. He had really embarrassed himself this time, insisting on playing, and then his skills weren't up to par, and he ended up like this. It was all his own doing, and Yin Mingran had reminded him, but he hadn't listened. In short, he deserved it. He didn't know what Yin Mingran would say to him later. It would be normal for her to scold him, who told him not to listen. Yin Mingran sat down by the hospital bed, looked at Zhou Heng, and let out a gentle sigh. Zhou Heng thought Yin Mingran was sighing at him, so he spoke first. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? Yin Mingran paused for a moment, then chuckled softly, placing her hand on Zhou Heng's leg. I didn't listen to you. I insisted on playing, and now look what happened. Zhou Heng said in a low voice, his head down, completely daring not to look Yin Mingran in the eyes. Yin Mingran's eyes were full of indulgence and doting. She reached out and gently stroked Zhou Heng's head, saying, It's good that you know, hubby. I was never angry with you. I just feel sorry for you. You don't have to listen to me, but you must be careful not to get hurt, okay? Otherwise, my heart really can't take it. Yin Mingran touched her heart. She still felt a bit flustered, her heartbeat irregular, all from the scare. When Zhou Heng was injured, she felt like her heart was about to stop. It was agonizing. Only after confirming that Zhou Heng was out of danger did she relax. Otherwise, she had trouble breathing, her mind was blank, and she felt a bit suffocated. You're not mad at me? You're not going to scold me? Zhou Hong raised his eyes, looking at Yin Mingran cautiously, and asked softly, "Look at you. When have I ever scolded you, hubby? I just don't want you to get hurt. How could I be mad at you? All right, don't overthink it. Just focus on recovery." Yin Mingran comforted him gently, making Zhou Hong feel much better. He hadn't received scolding, but comfort. For an injured person, this was the best psychological solace. However, Zhou Hong also understood that Yin Mingran could never bear to scold him. She supported whatever decision he made. This time, she had tried to dissuade him. He should have thought of it earlier, trusted Yin Mingran's premonition. If only he had listened to her. Zhou Hong secretly decided that he must be more careful in the future and listen to his wife. It was always the right thing to do. "Are you hungry? Let's eat first." Yin Mingran had just gone to buy food. She thought Zhou Hong would definitely be hungry, so she bought some back. "Eat." Zhou Hong looked down at his hand. It seemed eating would be a bit difficult. He couldn't use his left hand. But Yin Mingran had no intention of letting Zhou Hong eat by himself. She picked up some food, blew on it gently by her mouth, and then brought it to Zhou Hong's lips. "Hubby, open your mouth." Zhou Hong opened his mouth and ate. The corners of his lips lifted slightly. He thought to himself that this wasn't so bad. Being fed by Yin Mingran felt really good. Would Yin Mingran feed him until he recovered? Knock, knock. Just then, there was a knock on the hospital room door. They both looked over and saw Liang Jiaxiang and Lu Yunhua slowly walking in. They were carrying quite a few things for visiting a patient, which they had just bought. "Are you okay? What did the doctor say? How long until you could be discharged?" Liang Jiaxiang's face was full of guilt. He thought it was his fault for inviting them out to play, which was why Zhou Hong got injured. But Lu Yunhua's eyes only showed schadenfreude. He knew Liang Jiaxiang was definitely doomed. It had nothing to do with him. Who told him not to listen? He had said from the beginning not to try to get close to Zhou Hong. They weren't from the same social class. Now he had offended Zhou Hong. Liang Jiaxiang was going to suffer. Zhou Hong, I told him a long time ago not to go skiing. He didn't listen. This has nothing to do with me at all." Lu Yunhua seemed eager to distance himself, explaining anxiously, leaving the three present stunned. Liang Jiaxiang looked at Lu Yunhua with an incredulous expression, frowning, as if he didn't understand why Lu Yunhua was acting like this. After a moment's pause, Zhou Hong directly ignored Lu Yunhua and looked at Liang Jiaxiang, replying, "It's nothing serious. The doctor said I could be discharged in about a week, then recover slowly. It might take a few months to fully heal." "Is that so? If I had known, I should have tried to persuade you. I shouldn't have said those things." Liang Jiaxiang was very self-reproachful, sighing helplessly. If he had known, he should have chosen some less dangerous activities where they could still have fun. Now that this had happened, he indeed bore some responsibility. "It's okay. It has nothing to do with you guys. It's all my fault." Zhou Hong shook his head. He didn't think anyone else was at fault. It was entirely his own doing. But Liang Jiaxiang still wanted to say something. He looked at Yin Mingran. He knew Yin Mingran was very protective of Zhou Hong. If anything happened to Zhou Hong, the first person to get angry might not be Zhou Hong himself, but Yin Mingran. Yin Mingran seemed to understand something. She nodded and said, "It's okay. Don't blame yourself. It had nothing to do with you in the first place. Besides, this is already a blessing in disguise. It's good that Zhou Hong is fine now." Yin Mingran spoke very politely, but Liang Jiaxiang could sense a faint threatening tone in her voice, as if telling them that it was only because Zhou Hong was fine. If Zhou Hong had been seriously hurt, she would probably do something uncontrollable. Lu Yunhua was very puzzled. Why wasn't Zhou Hong angry at all? He had a broken bone. Shouldn't he be blaming Liang Jiaxiang for inviting them to play? "All right, you guys go back first. It's nothing serious. Let Zhou Hong rest well." Yin Mingran then issued an order to see them out, telling the two to leave. They didn't dare say much more, said their goodbyes, and left. The two left the hospital room, one after another, then left the hospital. Liang Jiaxiang walked in front, Lu Yunhua behind. They didn't talk, and the atmosphere was very subtle. After a while, Liang Jiaxiang stopped. Lu Yunhua also stopped, frowning slightly, looking at his back with confusion. Liang Jiaxiang didn't turn around and said faintly, "Lu Yunhua, your way of thinking will harm you sooner or later. It will ruin your life. I hope you look out for yourself." After saying that, Liang Jiaxiang left straight away, not giving Lu Yunhua a chance to say anything. And Lu Yunhua indeed couldn't say anything. He hadn't even registered what Liang Jiaxiang meant. What's wrong with my thinking? He didn't think there was anything wrong with his thinking. He even thought Liang Jiaxiang's thinking was wrong. He's just jealous of me, still petty-minded like before. So, He didn't take Liang Jiaxiang's words to heart at all and left without a care. And it was precisely because he didn't take these words to heart that it laid the groundwork for his future crimes and spending the latter half of his life in prison. It was already evening. After dinner, Zhou Heng fell asleep. When he opened his eyes again, he found Yin Minggran leaning by the bed, resting with her eyes closed. He instantly felt very guilty. Because of him, Yin Minggran was working so hard. In the coming days, she would still need to take care of him. Even today, when he went to the toilet, Yin Minggran helped him take off his pants. Sigh. Zhou Heng couldn't help but sigh. This very soft sigh made Yin Minggran instantly open her eyes. What's wrong, hubby? Does it hurt? Should I call the doctor? Yin Minggran immediately asked anxiously, afraid that Zhou Heng was enduring severe pain. No. It doesn't hurt. I just feel very sorry towards you. Zhou Heng pursed his lips, his eyes filled with heartache as he looked at Yin Minggran. Yin Minggran was slightly taken aback. Then a gentle smile appeared on her lips. She gently patted Zhou Heng's leg and whispered, "All right, don't overthink it. Let me ask you, if I were the one lying here, if I were the one injured, what would you do? Would you complain about taking care of me?" Zhou Heng quickly shook his head and said, "Of course not." Yin Minggran smiled, gently stroking Zhou Heng's cheek, and said, "There you go. So you're overthinking. You definitely wouldn't feel I've wronged you. Now just focus on recovering. Don't think about anything else, okay?" Okay. Zhou Heng became very obedient, nodded, and listened to Yin Minggran. The two gradually fell asleep in the hospital room, resting for the whole night. The next morning, Tang Ji contacted Yin Minggran and only then learned about what happened yesterday. So she rushed to the hospital. After entering the hospital room and seeing Zhou Heng on the bed, she was first slightly stunned, then burst out laughing with a sound. "What are you doing?" Zhou Heng narrowed his eyes and said irritably. Tang Ji quickly suppressed her laughter, waved her hand, and said, It's nothing. I just didn't expect you to be in such a state. It's really novel. Can I take a picture as a souvenir?" "You dare." "Ouch." Hiss. Zhou Heng was about to raise his arm to point at Tang Ji, but the pain made him grimace and suck in a sharp breath. "I'll be good." Yin Minggran gently patted Zhou Heng, telling him not to move. But she was also surprised by Zhou Heng's endurance. Most people would be in unbearable pain at this point. Even if not crying and wailing, they should be shouting loudly. But since Zhou Heng got injured yesterday, even when he was breaking out in a cold sweat, he hadn't cried out in pain once. Every time, he gritted his teeth and endured it. This made Yin Minggran feel even more sorry for him. She couldn't experience it, but if it happened to her, it would definitely be excruciatingly painful. She definitely wouldn't be able to bear it. So every time Zhou Heng was in pain, her heart would clench. The pain was on Zhou Heng's body, but it hurt her heart. "I won't call anyone else to see you. You probably find it annoying. It's just, in your current state, school starts in a few days. Will you be able to manage?" Tang Ji looked at Zhou Heng, who couldn't even take care of himself. Could he still go back to school? "That's not a problem. Even if I can't write, I can at least listen to lectures. I don't have time to waste." Zhou Heng knew school was starting in a few days, and he had never thought of taking leave. No matter what, he had to go to class. "All right, it's fine. Anyway, someone will take care of you, right?" Tang Ji chuckled a few times, turned to look at Yin Minggran beside her. Yin Minggran and Zhou Heng looked at each other and smiled. Regarding taking care and being taken care of, both were actually very happy. Yin Minggran felt that she had this opportunity to let Zhou Heng rely on her, instead of her relying on Zhou Heng. This feeling was really good. Yes, I have the best person to take care of me. Before school started, Liao Haomiao and Zhu Tao wanted to hang out with Zhou Heng and the others, so they contacted them. After hearing about Zhou Heng's injury, they immediately rushed over and stayed with Zhou Heng at the hospital for a day, chatting about what had happened in the past few days. They hadn't really gone anywhere to play. They just visited each other's homes, exchanged New Year greetings, met elders, and spent the rest of the time visiting relatives. Now that they finally had some free time, they came to find Zhou Heng and the others, only to find out Zhou Heng had encountered such a thing. Tang Ji also visited Zhou Heng frequently during this time. When she was there, Yin Minggran could rest well, letting Tang Ji temporarily take care of Zhou Heng, which she felt very reassured about. Others would occasionally contact Yin Minggran, like Shen Lini, Yuling Xue, and Jingyu. However, Yin Minggran didn't tell them about Zhou Heng's injury. She wanted Zhou Heng to rest quietly. If so many people came to visit him, he definitely wouldn't be able to rest well. A few days later, school started, and Zhou Heng was also discharged from the hospital. He just needed to recover slowly for the remaining time. The night before school started, they arranged to have dinner together near the school. When they saw Zhou Heng, They were all stunned. They didn't know what had happened to Zhou Hong. Who did this to him? Who had such an ability? For Zhou Hong, he didn't really want to talk about how his arm got injured because it was a bit embarrassing. So, throughout the evening, Zhou Hong spoke very little. When asked by others, he just replied simply, not giving the full story. Others could also sense that something was off with Zhou Hong, so they didn't ask too much. Since Zhou Hong didn't want to say, he must have his reasons. The next day, the new semester began. Zhou Hong, with a fractured arm, came to the usual classroom. When Professor Han, when she saw Zhou Hong like this, his eyeballs almost popped out, the corner of his mouth twitched violently, and he asked nervously this. What happened to you? How did this happen? Zhou Hong sat down, shook his head, and replied, It's nothing. I fell while playing outside. It doesn't affect anything. No effect? This looks quite serious, right? How about I have someone bring in a bed? It might be more comfortable for you to attend class lying down. Oh no. No, that's too much. I'll just attend class normally. It's nothing serious. Zhou Hong quickly refused. He had been lying down long enough in the past few days and didn't want to lie down anymore. Besides, lying on a bed in the classroom to attend class was too strange. Since Zhou Hong had said so, Han, when she didn't say much more, nodded and said, well then, if you have any requests, just let me know and I'll help you solve them. Okay, thank you, Professor. During class, Zhou Hong and Yin Mingran also sat close together because Yin Mingran had to take care of him. Zhou Hong didn't need to write. Yin Mingran helped him take notes. At noon, Yin Mingran also fed Zhou Hong. Their relationship rapidly warmed up during this period, and they became even more inseparable. They were already very clingy, and now the two of them were like one person, by each other's side at all times. After a whole day of school, they returned to their room in the evening. Zhou Hong sat on the edge of the bed and sighed. He felt like he would be like this for the entire semester, nearly 4 months. Just then, Yin Mingran came from the bathroom with a foot basin filled with freshly poured warm water and placed it by Zhou Hong's feet. Come, put them in. The water temperature is just right, not too hot. Zhou Hong's toes gripped his slippers as he said softly, No. Wifey, I can do this myself. All right, are you still being so polite with me? Yin Mingran directly placed Zhou Hong's feet into the foot basin and then began to wash his feet. Zhou Hong felt like he was dreaming. Although he was injured, being taken care of by his girlfriend like this, a wave of happiness instantly surged from his heart, especially seeing the smile on Yin Mingran's lips, as if she was also very happy doing these things. After a while, Zhou Hong suddenly spoke, whispering, Wifey, I love you. Yin Mingran suddenly looked up at Zhou Hong, stunned for a moment. Zhou Hong didn't know why he suddenly blurted that out. It was just a moment of deep emotion, an uncontrollable urge. After realizing it, Zhou Hong turned his head to the side, his ears instantly turning red. Yin Mingran's eyes curved slightly. She smiled and said, I love you too, hubby. After washing his feet, Yin Mingran went to pour out the foot water and then brought back a hot towel. All right, hubby, I'm going to help you wipe your body. I'll help you undress now. Be careful not to move. Yin Mingran first put the hot towel aside, then prepared to help Zhou Hong undress. Because of the injury in the cast, undressing was very inconvenient, requiring careful movements and taking a long time. Zhou Hong obediently cooperated with Yin Mingran to take off his clothes. His upper body was bare. Yin Mingran took the hot towel and carefully wiped Zhou Hong's body. After all, he couldn't take a bath now, so this was the only way to clean his body. Zhou Hong sat there, his face slightly flushed. Being served by Yin Mingran like this made him feel like an emperor. It was truly a bit embarrassing. But it seemed Yin Mingran was enjoying it. All right, the top half is done. Now the bottom. The bottom too. Do you have to? Of course. Yin Mingran nodded. Before Zhou Hong could say anything, she directly unfastened his pants. Zhou Hong simply turned his head to the side. After all, staring like that was a bit awkward. Yin Mingran cleaned very carefully, tidying up Zhou Hong's body until it was spotless. Even his private parts were well taken care of. However, during the cleaning process, there was touching and friction, which caused Zhou Hong to have an uncontrollable, normal reaction. If it were the Yin Mingran of long ago, seeing this scene, she would have died of embarrassment. Her face would have turned extremely red, as if it were about to drip blood. But now, her lips pursed into an ambiguous smile. Hubby, haven't we for a while not? Yes, since the injury. We haven't. It's been over half a month. Then, want me to help you? This. How? Can you help? Yin Mingran's eyes became charming and seductive. Her pink tongue darted out, lightly licking her soft, thin lips. Zhou Hong and Yin Mingran's days passed quickly. Because their daily life was studying, being instilled with a lot of knowledge, they had no chance to think about other things. Even Tang Ji and Yu Lingxue were the same, studying very seriously and diligently. Other people's university life was very relaxed and happy, playing when they should play, falling in love when they should fall in love, but their university life was much more arduous than their high school studies. After 2 years like this, they gradually felt that the academic pressure was getting smaller, and they had more and more free time with not so many things to learn. They realized that this kind of life was about to end. On this day, Shoheng slowly opened his eyes. What greeted him was Imengran's smiling face. Only she wasn't in bed, but had already gotten up, dressed herself beautifully, and even put on beautiful light makeup. Seeing Zhou Heng wake up, her eyes immediately lit up with a smile, her happiness almost overflowing. She directly kissed Zhou Heng and said sweetly, "Hubby, good morning. Happy birthday." Zhou Heng's lips curved into a smile. He reached out and touched Imengran's face, saying, "You're up so early." Of course, we agreed. Today is a very important day. Imengran straightened up, arms crossed, the happy expression on her face simply uncontrollable. They had been together for almost 4 years, but their relationship had always been so good, their love never waning. Even if every day was the most ordinary life, it couldn't stop their passion. Today was Zhou Heng's birthday. They hadn't decided how to celebrate yet, but they had already decided on one thing. Today, they would do something very meaningful. All right then, I'll get up and get ready. We'll leave soon. Okay. Imengran waited patiently for Zhou Heng and even helped him get ready. While he was washing his face, the toothpaste was already squeezed out. After Zhou Heng was also ready, the two left. Everyone in Juanheng Tower knew it was Zhou Heng's birthday. Everyone they met would wish him well, and Zhou Heng responded to each one. They looked at these familiar faces, unable to believe they had lived here for 3 years. This place felt even more familiar than home. They left the school and went straight to their destination, as if they couldn't wait any longer. Kulme, move your heads a little closer, good. Keep smiling. Click. When the two walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, they each held a small red booklet in their hands. Those were their marriage certificates. They had been looking forward to this day for a long time, ever since they got together. Finally, today, on Zhou Heng's birthday, he met the age requirement to register for marriage. They had discussed it a few days ago and decided to get their certificate today, which was why Imengran woke up so early, got ready, and waited for Zhou Heng to wake up because she was too excited to sleep. At this moment, they were married, officially becoming a legal couple. Imengran swore this was definitely the most exciting, thrilling, and happiest day of her life. It was the same for Zhou Heng. He had thought day and night about when he could marry Imengran. Now, he had finally fulfilled this wish. Imengran looked at the marriage certificate in her hand, at their photo together, the smile on her lips never fading. Then, she put the marriage certificate away, hugged Zhou Heng's arm, pressed close to his body, and asked softly, "Hubby, will you regret marrying me?" Zhou Heng turned his head, looked at Imengran's radiant smile, couldn't help but smile too, reached out and gently tapped Imengran's nose, saying, "You're asking such a silly question again, huh? I know you too well, wifey. You and I both know the answer, and there's absolutely no second answer. But you're very happy now, ostensibly asking a question, but actually, you're just being coquettish, right?" Hubby knows me best. Imengran leaned on Zhou Heng's shoulder, her happiness overflowing. They had been together for so long. They were already the most familiar and understanding people to each other. Not to mention a word, even a look, a gesture, they knew exactly what the other meant. "We should be able to start planning our wedding now." Zhou Heng looked up at the sky and murmured. If there was something they looked forward to more than getting their certificate, it was the wedding. "Hubby, what about you, Lingxue?" Imengran looked up, frowned slightly, and looked at Zhou Heng. She knew Zhou Heng had an even more important matter, which was about Yu Lingxue's father, Juanheng's vice president, Yu Yinghai. 2 years ago, Zhou Heng's father had told him not to rush the wedding, to give Yu Yinghai the illusion that he still had a chance, and it would be best to obtain some evidence of her father's illegal activities from Yu Lingxue to make him step down. He still remembered what his father said. Only when Yu Yinghai stepped down could he truly take over. However, since then, Yu Yinghai seemed to have settled down, made no moves, and worked diligently. The rumors about him circulating within Juanheng also seemed to have gradually disappeared, and now nothing was heard about him. Moreover, Yu Lingxue's relationship with her father seemed to have always been poor, with little contact, and no useful information could be obtained from Yu Lingxue. So, Zhou Heng didn't want to wait anymore. His desire to hold a wedding with Imengran wasn't a recent thought. Let's not worry about it for now. Anyway, there's no progress. We might as well focus on our own affairs first. Hubby, I'll listen to you. Although they said so, they also knew this wasn't something that could be resolved in a day or two. Planning a wedding involved many considerations. Listing them would take a large sheet of paper, and each item needed careful consideration and serious resolution. Jo-hung and In Min-gran posted their marriage certificates on their social media, officially announcing their marriage today. In an instant, they received numerous blessings. Tangji, happy wedding. I've already ordered the cake. It'll be delivered to the private room. Come early tonight. Yuling Xue, so happy. Bring it back for us to see. It must be a beautiful photo. Tong Yining, happiness, happiness, happiness. You must be well. Don't separate. Remember to notify me for the wedding. Shunlini, like mandarin ducks flying side by side, peaches and plums sharing one heart. May you meet with all your heart and accompany each other warmly. Aitsong, happy wedding. Happy birthday. Double happiness today. Drink more tonight. Don't go home until you're drunk. Liao Hao Miao, damn. You guys are so fast. You just got the certificate like that? No, I have to plan with my wife too. Zhu Tao, when's the wedding? Looking forward to your wedding feast. All right, I want to be a bridesmaid. Kong Yu, awesome. My brother Zhou is a real man. Learning from you. Jo-hung and In Min-gran went out to play for the whole day, relaxing properly, also because they were especially happy after getting their marriage certificate. In the evening, they arranged to have dinner with a group of friends. Tang Ji and the others had already arrived, ordered a cake, and were just waiting for the main characters to appear. When Jo-hung and In Min-gran arrived at the restaurant entrance, Jo-hung suddenly received a phone call. Jo-hung stood there, glanced at his phone, and found it was actually his dad calling. Recently, Zhou Junyao had been contacting Jo-hung more frequently, sending messages from time to time, asking about Jo-heng's current situation. Wifey, you go in first, okay? I'll make a call to my dad outside. Jo-hung looked at In Min-gran and said, because he didn't know what his dad wanted. If it was going to be a long call, it wouldn't be good to keep In Min-gran waiting here. Okay. In Min-gran nodded in agreement, and then entered the restaurant first, leaving Jo-hung alone outside. He answered the phone and said, hello? Dad, happy birthday. I thought you forgot. Jo-hung was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect his incredibly busy dad to remember his birthday. This was truly a rare occurrence. His mother, Lu Wei, remembered every year, and on his birthday, she would send him a big red envelope, wishing him a happy birthday. But his father, Zhou Junyao, rarely did such things. However, he didn't care. Ever since he knew his dad was the chairman of Juanhong, he no longer felt any imbalance. His dad was so capable, it was normal for him to be busy, and their relationship was quite good, so what was there to be dissatisfied about? Calling suddenly today, and even wishing him a happy birthday, really made him feel a bit flattered. How could I forget my own son's birthday? I was just very busy before, couldn't help it. Okay, it's all right, I understand. Jo-hung didn't expect his dad to even offer an explanation. This made him feel even more uneasy, as if his dad had become a different person. Dad, what's up? Just say it directly. My friends are waiting for dinner. All right, we got our marriage certificate today. Did Mom tell you? Your mom told me. It's good you got the certificate. It fulfills a wish for both of you. Yeah, we've got the certificate now, so I was thinking, can we start preparing for the wedding? What do you think? Jo-hung asked tentatively, wanting to know his dad's opinion, to see if he was willing to let him get married now. You can discuss this matter with your mom. What I want to tell you is, you've learned almost enough at Dongju University, right? I think so. I've studied diligently for 3 years, so I've definitely gained a lot. Jo-hung unconsciously straightened his posture, as if confidence was welling up from the bottom of his heart. He indeed had such confidence. With the learning atmosphere and intensity he and In Min-gran had, they had learned more in these 3 years than others would in 7 or 8 years. Moreover, their courses were all customized, not something ordinary people could learn. It was a complete shortcut, teaching only useful things. In that case, prepare to come to Juanhong for an internship. Jo-heng's eyes widened, truly stunned. He hadn't expected his dad to tell him this. Notifying him to intern at Juanhong? This was truly the benefit of having the chairman as his dad. With just a word, he was going to Juanhong. Ordinary people would exhaust themselves and still not get in, while for him, going there would be like going home. Is that so? Okay, I understand. I'll let Professor Han know. Come to Juanhong, work hard. My observation period for you is only 3 years. After 3 years, if you satisfy me, I will give up the position of president to you. Okay. This sentence made Jo-heng's blood boil. Others worked hard for so many years just to become a minor supervisor. And for some, the end of their career might be a manager. But he only needed 3 years. If he worked hard for 3 years, he would become the president. One more thing, you should know this. You can choose a secretary. I know. Have you chosen someone? Yes. Zhou Heng answered without hesitation. He had already chosen someone in his heart, and it had never changed. In fact, besides him, everyone around him knew it too. The fact that Tang Ji was the chosen one was already known to everyone. There was no need to guess. I won't disturb your fun tonight. Call me tomorrow. Okay. Zhou Heng and Zhou Junyao hung up the phone, and Zhou Heng then stepped into the restaurant. Zhou Heng found a reserved private room and pushed open the door. Pop! In an instant, a party popper went off and colorful confetti fluttered down, landing on the floor and Zhou Heng's shoulders. Happy birthday! At the same time, a chorus of birthday wishes came from within the private room. Zhou Heng looked at his friends in the room, his lips curved upwards, and he smiled. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's great that you're still here for my birthday this year. Sorry. I'm late. Just then, the sound of hurried footsteps came from outside the door. After pushing the door open, the person who entered was Jingyu. Everyone turned to look and found that although she had changed back in her own clothes, her Gothic-style makeup was still on her face. You just left work, right? Your makeup isn't even off yet. In-min Gran glanced at her, smiled, and asked, Yes, I'm really sorry. After finishing work, I came over immediately. I was as fast as I could be. After Jingyu finished speaking, she turned to Zhou Heng, smiled, bowed, and said, Boss Zhou, happy birthday. Zhou Heng smiled helplessly. You're calling me Boss Zhou again. I already told you your boss is my dad. During these 2 years, something quite important had also happened. The modeling agency Jingyu was in had been acquired by Junon. In other words, Jingyu is also considered an employee of Junon. It'll be you sooner or later, Boss Zhou, just currying favor with the future boss. Ha ha ha. Jingyu covered her mouth and chuckled a few times, causing everyone present to burst into laughter. In-min Gran beckoned them over, saying, All right, hurry up and sit down. Yuling Xue leaned over, looked at In-min Gran with an expectant expression, and asked, Can I see your marriage certificate? Do you have it with you? Of course you can. In-min Gran didn't refuse, took out the marriage certificate from her bag, and handed it to Yuling Xue. Yuling Xue took it, opened it for a look, her eyes lit up, and she exclaimed, Wow, the photo is so beautiful. The others also gathered around to look at their marriage certificate, as if looking at some rare treasure, their eyes filled with curiosity. After seeing it, they all exclaimed in admiration. After all, a friend getting married and obtaining a certificate was indeed a very novel thing. Wow, this thing is pretty good, but I probably won't ever have one in my lifetime, right? Tang Ji sighed and said faintly. The others all turned their gazes to Tang Ji, blinking, looking somewhat surprised. What's wrong? Zhou Heng asked with interest. You want to get married? Impossible. I'm not interested. Tang Ji answered without hesitation, her firm stance unchanged from before. TCH. Everyone said in unison, greatly disappointed. They thought Tang Ji wanted to get married, which would have been an even rarer event. After everyone sat down, they began to eat, drink, chat, and a happy atmosphere filled the air. It had been a long time since they had sat together so relaxedly. Especially since today was Zhou Heng's birthday, as well as the day Zhou Heng and In-min Gran got their marriage certificate. With double happiness, they were even happier, and the two of them unconsciously drank a little more. Slowly, it got very late. Yuling Xue mentioned, We're about to start internships, right? This sentence instantly brought the atmosphere in the room to an extreme silence. Yuling Xue seemed to realize she had said the wrong thing and quickly lowered her head in embarrassment. They were about to start their internships, which meant leaving school. Days like this, gathered together, were numbered. At the same time, their internships were also a bit particular. Zhou Heng and In-min Gran, Tang Ji and Yuling Xue, the four of them had even more thoughts. Among them, it was just the four of them whose internships were rather special. Baicong was no longer competing for Zhou Heng's secretary position, but he still wanted to enter Junon. His internship was arranged by his father, starting at the grassroots level in Junon. Shenlini was about to graduate and had been interning at a company for a long time. Jingyu, needless to say, had been working for a long time and was already an employee under Junon, just waiting to graduate. So it was only the four of them whose situations were currently more complicated. Zhou Heng was going to intern at Junon, and it seemed he would also be taking Tang Ji with him. As for In-min Gran, she had actually called Lu Wei some time ago, asking when her internship would start and if she would go to Huzhou to intern at Tianhe. They had even talked about Yu Lingshu. Lu Wei's intention was to ask about Yin Mingran and Yu Lingshue's relationship, and if it was good, to have Yu Lingxue go to Tianheng as well, to follow Yin Mingran and be her secretary. But Yin Mingran thought of Yu Lingshue's background. After all, her father was Yu Yinghai, so she reserved her opinion and didn't say it out loud. There were probably very complicated situations behind this, and she didn't dare to make a decision rashly. So now Yu Lingxue was also very confused. Her father had called her recently to talk about this matter. She was set on going to Tianheng and Huzhou with Yin Mingran, so she didn't listen carefully to what Yu Yinghai said and didn't take it to heart. But now, she didn't know if she could still go. Yin Mingran hadn't mentioned it to her, and she couldn't just go directly to Chairman Lu Wei, right? Thus, the dinner party ended, and everyone prepared to go back. It was already very late. After everyone had walked out, Zhou Hong was helped up by Yin Mingran. He looked up at Tang Ji walking ahead. Cough. Zhou Hong coughed lightly. Tang Ji immediately stopped, looked back, and Zhou Heng reached out and tapped the table. Tang Ji seemed to understand immediately. She stood there, watching the others leave. She didn't go. After seeing everyone else off, Tang Ji looked at Zhou Hong and asked, "What's up? Something you need?" Yin Mingran stood beside Zhou Hong. She seemed to know what Zhou Hong wanted to say to Tang Ji because they had discussed this issue before. "Sit." Zhou Hong pointed to a chair, signaling Tang Ji to sit down and talk. The three of them sat down together. Tang Ji was originally smiling, but seeing Zhou Heng's rather serious expression, she also put away her smile, straightened her posture a bit, and uncrossed her legs. "Have you decided where you're going to intern? Have you found a place?" As soon as Zhou Hong said this, Tang Ji's eyebrows shot up, showing a slightly surprised expression. She finally understood what Zhou Hong wanted to say to her. "Cough. No, actually, I wanted to intern at Juanheng, but it seems I have to get into Juanheng Tower first. If you're not from Juanheng Tower, it seems you can't get into Juanheng. How about, for my sake as your cousin, you help me out?" When Tang Ji said the last sentence, she winked with a hint of a joking tone and also a hint of probing. She was being very conservative by saying this. After all, from the very beginning, she was aiming for Zhou Heng's secretary position. Although she had been called a genius since she was young and was talented in many aspects, was the world lacking geniuses? Once she entered society, it was actually unrelated to school. No matter how genius she was, it was useless. Connections were very crucial. This connection was Zhou Hong. If she could get this job, she would have actually achieved something many geniuses couldn't, reaching a very, very high position. The president's secretary, that starting point was a height most people could never reach in their lifetime. She really needed it. Everything she learned was aimed at that position, a completely specialized study. If she didn't get this position, then what she had learned would be mostly useless. Although she often heard Yu Lingxue say that this position was definitely hers, she still wasn't that confident. She understood Zhou Hong. Even if their relationship was good, on this point, he wouldn't be careless. If she really wasn't capable, he would absolutely not use her because of personal feelings. Zhou Hong was silent for more than 10 seconds. Yin Mingran also became nervous, turned to look at Zhou Heng's face, and tightly gripped his hand. "I, now, have a position I'd like you to take. I don't know if you're interested." "It's settled." Tang Ji's eyes lit up, her heart thumping with excitement, but she didn't show it on her face, nor did she answer immediately. Instead, she paused for a few seconds, the corners of her lips lifted slightly, and she said softly, "I'll listen to you. You must know, right? Don't pretend. With your intelligence, understanding these things is very simple, right?" Zhou Hong snorted with a laugh, narrowed his eyes, and saw through Tang Ji at a glance. He could tell that Tang Ji was just pretending. In reality, she was already very clear about it. Tang Ji scratched her head awkwardly and said with a smile, "See through, but don't say through. How could I be so direct about this kind of thing? What's there to be embarrassed about? Your abilities, your ideas, it has to be you, right? Unless I'm crazy, I would not use you." From the very beginning, when Zhou Hong knew this, Tang Ji was the only one on his mind. No second person had ever appeared. He knew Tang Ji too well. This job was made for her. For now, he hadn't met anyone more suitable or outstanding than Tang Ji. Yin Mingran also nodded from the side, agreeing very much with Zhou Heng's idea. To be honest, if Zhou Hong didn't use Tang Ji, then she would. Take her to Tianheng. This SSR-level secretary. Not using her would truly be a waste of a God-given talent. Haha, don't say that, you're flattering me. But if you're really willing to use me, I'll definitely work hard, President Zhou. You're doing this too, really? Zhou Hong covered his forehead. shaking his head helplessly. He was really under a lot of pressure. Everyone thought he would definitely be Juinheng's successor in the future, but he hadn't even started his internship at Juinheng yet, nor had he passed the observation period. If he didn't do well, his father wouldn't possibly hand Juinheng over to him. Tang Ji seemed to see through Zhou Heng's thoughts, patted his shoulder, and said softly, "Don't worry, I'll help you well. Have you forgotten my support skills? When I supported you, when did we ever lose?" Zhou Heng looked up, smiled, and said, "You're giving yourself credit again, aren't you?" "Not at all, haha." The three chatted for a while longer before leaving together. Zhou Heng planned to call his dad tomorrow to discuss this matter in detail. After all, if he decided to go to Juinheng, he could actually go tomorrow. Tang Ji left first, leaving Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran some private space. They had just gotten their marriage certificate today and still needed some intimacy. Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran walked slowly. Yin Mingran held Zhou Heng's arm, pressing close to his body, her mind filled with many thoughts, but all of them were happy ones. Recalling a few years ago, in high school, she and Zhou Heng were just ordinary classmates. In the first 2 years, they had spoken less than 10 sentences, with hardly any interaction. Zhou Heng had very little presence back then, while she was the class monitor, loved by her classmates. They were completely different people. At that time, probably no one would have thought that she and Zhou Heng would have any relationship. But when they met that night, everything changed. Fate had intertwined their futures, tightly entangled, never to be broken. From two people with no interaction at all to being married now, becoming the closest two people, Yin Mingran marveled at how wonderful fate truly was. "Hubby, have you ever thought, what if we hadn't met that night?" Yin Mingran suddenly asked, making Zhou Heng pause for a moment. He really hadn't thought about this question. "Didn't meet? How could that be? I walked that road every day after school." Zhou Heng mumbled, but then suddenly realized it didn't seem to be the case. The day he met Yin Mingran, it was the middle of the night. Normally, he should have been home long ago, and it would have been impossible to meet Yin Mingran. The reason was that Tang Ji insisted on calling him to go online. That day was the last time he confessed to Tong Yining. After failing, Tang Ji insisted on calling him to play games. He didn't understand at the time, but now he realized that she just didn't know how to comfort him, so she called him to go online, thinking that playing games would make him feel much better. And indeed, he felt much better after playing games. And most importantly, on his way home, he met Yin Mingran. So, it was Tang Ji who made him meet Yin Mingran. Thinking about it this way, it seemed he owed Tang Ji a lot. He married such a good wife, all thanks to Tang Ji. Yin Mingran looked up at the sky and said softly, "Let me think. If I hadn't met you that day, I might not have gone to school. I might have found a job that provided food and lodging just to get by. If I couldn't think straight, then maybe I would have." When Yin Mingran reached this point, Zhou Heng suddenly pulled her into his arms, interrupting her. "What are you talking about? Don't think about it. There are no ifs. This is the best ending." Yin Mingran was slightly taken aback. Then a happy smile appeared on her face. She reached out and hugged Zhou Heng, responding softly, "I know. I love you. I love you too." After strolling for a while, they went back, followed by a sweet and passionate night. The next morning, Zhou Heng got up, preparing to listen to his dad and call him today. The phone rang a few times before it was answered. "Hello? Dad, I'm listening to you," I called. "What did you want to tell me?" "Are you ready for an internship now? If you're ready, come over today." Zhou Heng's eyes widened, stunned for a moment. He hadn't expected to go to Juinheng so soon. He knew he was about to start his internship, but he hadn't expected this day to come so quickly. I can. Then I'll go over today. Should I go directly to you? You can tour around inside first. I'll have someone receive you. When I'm done with my work, I'll have you come find me." "Okay, I understand." Zhou Heng hung up the phone and told Yin Mingran about it. Yin Mingran was also very surprised, but she still supported Zhou Heng going today. Anyway, he had to take the steps sooner or later, so it was better to do it earlier and get used to it. "Then I'll go get ready. Do I need to dress more formally?" Zhou Heng looked at himself in the mirror. Although he looked clean, going to a place like Juinheng, he should probably dress more formally. His current clothes didn't seem quite right. Hubby, I prepared it for you long ago." Yin Mingran smiled, walked to the wardrobe, opened it, and took out a set of clothes. It was a suit. It looked like it was tailor-made for Zhou Heng, with very broad shoulders. Zhou Heng asked in great surprise. "Wifey, when did you buy this?" "A few months ago. I bought it for you. I knew this day would come. As your wife, don't I have to help you handle these small things?" Zhou Heng pursed his lips, his eyes filled with love as he looked at Yin Mingran. He was rather careless, but Mingran always handled these small matters for him perfectly. He didn't need to worry about them at all. All right, try it on quickly. It should fit. I had it custom made. Mingran knew Zhou Heng's figure perfectly, so there was no need for him to go for a fitting himself. Okay, Zhou Heng tried it on. It fit perfectly, not too big, not too small. My hubby is so handsome. The most handsome. Mingran looked at Zhou Heng in the suit, her eyes shining, helping him adjust it as she spoke. Mwah. Zhou Heng directly kissed Mingran on the lips. They looked at each other and smiled. They felt that this was indeed the feeling of a newlywed couple after getting their certificate. So sweet. Zhou Heng looked around the room. Although he had gotten used to it after living there for so long, it seemed something was still missing. This wasn't a marital home. The rooms in Juanheng Tower were, at best, dormitories for them. Decided. First, earn money to buy a big house. Why? We can live anywhere. Mingran was stunned for a moment, not understanding why Zhou Heng would suddenly say this. Anyway, she felt it was the same wherever they lived. Whether the house was big or small, as long as she lived with Zhou Heng, it was home, the warmest home. I want to have a home that belongs to us. Zhou Heng hugged Mingran and whispered in her ear. Mingran also hugged Zhou Heng's waist and replied, Okay, I know, hubby. I'll work hard too. We'll earn money to buy it together. The two were lovey-dovey for a while longer before Zhou Heng prepared to go out. After Zhou Heng left, Mingran began to tidy the room, make the bed, sweep and mop the floor, and wash Zhou Heng's clothes. Her mind was also calculating whether she should take the initiative to contact Lu Wei. She didn't know if her mother was busy recently. What if she called and disturbed her work? So she gave up the idea. Before she was needed, she would study hard and prepare herself fully for the day her mother needed her. Zhou Heng left the school. He knew the direction of Juanheng, but he was actually still a bit timid. What should he do when he got there? What should he say? Where should he go? Juanheng was as big as 2 residential complexes combined, with so many buildings and streets. If he went there, he would definitely get lost. Zhou Heng still mustered his courage. After all, he was the chairman's son. What was there to worry about? If even he was afraid, then he was truly too timid. Zhou Heng hailed a taxi and went directly to Juanheng. This was also his first time coming to Juanheng, his first time getting close. Before even getting out of the car, he could already see the magnificent campus from the car window. The prominent sign at the entrance had 3 key characters, Juanheng District. From the outside, it really looked like a residential complex and also like a commercial street. Many people could be seen. Before coming here, Zhou Heng had done a little research. Juanheng District was divided into 2 areas, the commercial area and the office area. Zhou Heng was in the commercial area. Ordinary people could enter, stroll around, and buy things like a tourist attraction. The office area, however, was where Juanheng employees worked. Without an employee badge, non-Juanheng employees were not allowed to enter. Zhou Heng walked in the commercial area, observing the things inside, feeling very novel, looking left and right. But he didn't have much time for shopping, so he went straight to the office area. Arriving at the entrance of the office area, security guards stood there, heavily guarded. There was also facial recognition equipment at the entrance. Everyone had to go through this process to enter. Zhou Heng stood at the entrance, somewhat at a loss. Did he have to call his dad again? Didn't he say someone would receive him? Just then, someone really walked out. It looked like a man. When he reached the entrance, the security guard even saluted him. After the man walked out, he went straight towards Zhou Heng. Zhou Heng. The man walked up to Zhou Heng and asked tentatively. Zhou Heng was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, Yes, you are. I was sent by your father to receive you. My surname is Yu. You. Zhou Heng's eyes widened instantly, his face full of horror, a reaction of extreme shock. Surnamed Yu, isn't that? Is this person before me Yu Lingshue's father, Juanheng's vice president, Yu Yinghai? No way. His dad sent the vice president to receive him, and it was Yu Yinghai? What did this mean? Seeing Zhou Heng's expression, Yu Yinghai smiled faintly and said softly, You should know me, right? My disobedient daughter has been under your care. Oh, no. Yu Lingxue and I are good friends. There's no such thing as taking care of her. Zhou Heng quickly waved his hands and replied. Yu Yinghai nodded and said, Come on, I'll take you in. Then he walked back. Zhou Heng immediately followed. The security guards at the entrance didn't dare to be negligent, wondering in their hearts who Zhou Heng was and why VP Yu personally came to pick him up. But they didn't dare to guess, obediently opened the gate and let the 2 in. Zhou Heng followed behind Yu Yinghai, not daring to say anything, looking at the man in front of him, feeling very confused. Why would he do things that harmed Juanheng? Wasn't the position of vice president enough to satisfy him? He was already in a position others couldn't reach. What more did he want? Have you been here before? Ah. Hearing Yu Yinghai's sudden question, Zhou Hong was stunned for a moment, then shook his head and said, "No, this is my first time." Ah, okay. Don't worry, I won't follow you around all the time, lest you feel uncomfortable too. I still have work to do. After we go in, I'll find someone to show you around. Yu Yinghai nodded. His words also made Zhou Hong instantly relax. If Yu Yinghai really took him around Ju and Hong, he would probably be the center of attention on his very first day. Who gets a tour led by the vice president? Okay, I understand, VPU. Good morning, VPU. VPU. Walking into the office building, everyone who saw Yu Yinghai greeted him. Almost no one didn't know Yu Yinghai, and Yu Yinghai responded to each one with a smile, which made Zhou Hong notice that Yu Yinghai seemed to have a good relationship with the grassroots employees. Logically speaking, in Ju and Hong, some people might never meet in their entire lives. It was simply too big, to the point where you wouldn't even know if someone walking outside was a colleague. Even if Yu Yinghai was the vice president, not everyone would necessarily know him, right? How could that be? Those employees also looked at Zhou Hong, who was following behind Yu Yinghai, with strange expressions. Some were even whispering, discussing softly, guessing Zhou Hong's identity, why Yu Yinghai had brought him. Zhou Hong followed behind Yu Yinghai, looking left and right, touring the interior of Ju and Hong. Then, Yu Yinghai took Zhou Hong to a department. Zhou Hong looked up and saw Logistics Department 3. Ahem. Yu Yinghai knocked on the door and coughed. The employees working inside immediately looked up, and upon seeing Yu Yinghai, they quickly stood up and said in unison, "VPU." This really startled them. Why had the vice president come in person? In this situation, it usually meant the department had a very serious problem. They instantly stood there rigidly, not daring to breathe, afraid Yu Yinghai's gaze would fall on one of them. Someone come here, I have some work to arrange. Yu Yinghai looked at one of them, a team leader, signaling him to make arrangements. The team leader was stunned for a moment, then quickly nodded and said, "Ah, okay. Then he looked back at the employees in his group and pointed to a girl. "Shaoli, you go." She was a girl who looked to be only 25 or 26, very young and very pretty. She nodded and agreed, somewhat nervously. "Okay." Then she walked out from her workstation and came to Yu Yinghai. "Good morning, VPU. Hello. Could you please take him around, walk through various departments?" The girl was stunned. Only then did she see that behind Yu Yinghai stood another person. This young man looked so young, even younger than her, so tall, well-built, and quite handsome. Who was he? Why was he personally brought by the vice president? Was he a major client? But even if he was a major client, it wouldn't warrant the vice president personally bringing him, right? And at this age, he didn't look like a major client. Despite her myriad doubts, she didn't dare to ask anything, so she nodded and said, "Okay." Yu Yinghai turned to Zhou Hong and said, "Then I'll go back to my work. If there's anything, have her contact me." "Okay. Thank you for your trouble, VPU." Yu Yinghai patted Zhou Hong's shoulder and said softly, "No need to be a stranger, just call me Uncle Yu." Okay. Thank you, Uncle Yu." Zhou Hong forced an awkward smile, because he saw that the girl already had a very shocked expression. Was it really okay to say such things in front of her? She was already very suspicious of his identity, and now he was saying something so misleading. Wasn't this just telling others that he got in through connections? Yu Yinghai then left, leaving Zhou Hong alone, standing in front of the girl. Hello." Zhou Hong greeted her first. Only then did she react, bowed slightly, and replied, "Hello. No need to be so polite. My name is Zhou Hong. I'm an intern preparing to work here. Sorry to trouble you." Intern. The girl was instantly confused, 1,000 question marks floating in her mind. This was too unbelievable. Which in turn was brought by the vice president. Did he get in through connections? A relative of the vice president? Isn't the company strictly prohibiting backdoor connections? Are they so blatant now? Hello, my name is Li. You can just call me Shaoli. Oh no, let me call you Sister Shaoli. You can just call me Xiao Zhou. Zhou Hong and Li Ku were very polite. Li Ku suspected Zhou Hong's identity was not simple, so she didn't dare to be negligent, while Zhou Hong genuinely wanted to be low-key and modest. Then, Li Ku took Zhou Hong away, preparing to show him around. "You said you're an intern. Which department are you interning in? Is it our logistics department?" About that, I still don't know." Zhou Hong really didn't know where he was going to intern. The things he learned didn't seem to be about game development or anything like that. He had only learned a part of it and had some understanding, but if he were asked to do it, it would definitely not work. What he learned seemed to be related to management. Don't know. This made Li Ku even more curious, really wondering about Zhou Hong's identity, what he was actually doing. Definitely not just a simple intern. By the way, which university are you from? You haven't graduated yet, right? Yes, I haven't graduated yet. I'm from Dongju University. Is that so? I graduated from there too. I didn't expect us to be alumni. Is that so? Then you're my senior. Zhou Heng nodded, chatting with Li Ku sentence by sentence, which made her relax a lot. Normally, it should be him, the intern, who was nervous, but she seemed much more nervous. This is the Human Resources Department. When you officially start, you'll report here. Oh, I feel like the atmosphere in the HR department is a bit serious. Zhou Heng roughly glanced outside. It was particularly quiet inside, only the sound of keyboards clicking. They communicated by whispering close to each other's ears. Yes, the head of the HR department is quite scary. Ha ha ha. Oh, by the way, if you intern in the HR department, don't mention it. Li Ku whispered to Zhou Heng. Zhou Heng couldn't help but smile, thinking this person was quite interesting. Then, this is the inspection department, also a very serious place. Zhou Heng had just glanced to the side, not yet clearly seeing the people inside the inspection department, when a voice suddenly came from ahead. What are you two doing? Zhou Heng and Li Ku were startled and immediately stopped, looking ahead. A man stood there, also looking young, probably in his 30s, wearing glasses, with a serious expression. His tone just now was also very intimidating. At this moment, he had his hands behind his back, his posture upright, staring at the two people in front of him with a frown. When Li Ku saw the man, she immediately bowed and greeted. Manager Hong. Hello, I'm from Logistics Department 3. Logistics Department? What are you doing here? Isn't it working hours right now? The man called Manager Hong stared at Li Ku, then turned his gaze to Zhou Heng and asked, Which department are you from? Are you also from the Logistics Department? Where's your ID badge? Zhou Heng was completely flustered by Manager Hong's barrage of questions. This felt like a scene from when he was in middle school, skipping class and getting caught by the Dean of Discipline. Manager Hong, this is a new intern, the one VP you brought. He asked me to show him around. VP you. Hearing this name, Manager Hong's face instantly fell, his brows furrowed tightly, and his eyes sharpened in an instant. His gaze was like an eagle's, even surprising Zhou Heng. Are you VPU's relative? Manager Hong took a step forward, staring at Zhou Heng, and questioned in a low voice. That eagle-like gaze seemed to want to see right through Zhou Heng, not allowing him to lie even a little. No. Zhou Heng shook his head, denying it. He had no relationship with Yu Yinghai in the first place, and, according to his father, he should be in an adversarial relationship with Yu Yinghai. Then why did VPU bring you here? Manager Hong pressed on, continuing to ask. Zhou Heng was momentarily at a loss for words, wondering if he should tell him the truth. Then he remembered that a few years ago, when he helped Jingyu, he seemed to have heard that a new manager had been appointed to Jiwenheng's inspection department. His father seemed to have mentioned him before. It should be this person. Thanks to him, so many of Jiwenheng's worms, corrupt elements, were cleaned out. It seemed he was truly capable. I am. Zhou Heng was about to speak, then glanced at Li Ku beside him, thinking it was better not to let too many people know about this. News spread quickly in the company. If one person knew, it would spread to 10, then 100, and he would become the focus. There would be a lot of gossip, which would affect normal work. Zhou Heng stepped forward and said in a low voice, Could we speak privately? Manager Hong was taken aback, not understanding what Zhou Heng meant. Did he want to talk to him alone? But he wasn't afraid of anything. Today, he had to find out Zhou Heng's identity. As the manager of the inspection department, he definitely had to investigate the company's personnel and not leave any hidden dangers. The two walked a few steps forward, leaving Li Ku standing there alone, wondering what Zhou Heng wanted to say and why he had to avoid her. Zhou Heng looked around and whispered that, I am a chairman's son. I was called here by my dad today to look around, preparing to intern here. What? Hearing this, Manager Hong was suddenly stunned. On his serious face, a hint of surprise appeared. Yes, my dad sent VPU to pick me up. I don't know what his intentions are, but you should understand. About VPU's matter, I'm also investigating. Zhou Heng's voice was very low, afraid of being overheard by others. Hearing Zhou Heng say this, Manager Hong was convinced of Zhou Heng's identity. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said such a thing. He hadn't expected. It was actually the chairman's son. Jiwenheng strictly prohibited employees from using backdoor connections, not even the vice president. But he was the chairman's son. The rules were set by his father. Never mind him using backdoor connections. Even if he walked in through the front door openly, no one would dare stop him. Is that so? The chairman also asked you to investigate Yu Yinghai. Manager Hong's tone softened, no longer as intimidating as before. His gaze towards Zhou Hong was no longer sharp. Yes. After all, to me, Junheng is my home. If there are factors harming my home, I definitely want to resolve them. I know you are a good leader. My dad entrusted this matter to you because he trusts your ability and your character. Manager Hong nodded and said in a low voice, I am very grateful for the chairman's trust, and I will not disappoint him. I will definitely gather evidence of you in harming Junheng and not let him alone destroy Junheng. Then we are on the same side. My name is Zhou Hong, and your esteemed name is? Zhou Hong extended his hand towards Manager Hong and asked, my name is Hong Yang. I didn't expect the chairman's son to be so grown up. I hope you understand my actions just now. It was all for work. Manager Hong extended his hand and shook Zhou Heng's, a slight smile finally appearing on his lips. It's okay. This is as it should be. I am very grateful for your dedication to Junheng. With a leader like you, Junheng will only get better and better. I truly hope others can be as meticulous as you. Zhou Heng also returned a smile. He and Hong Yang looked at each other, and just like that, they established a connection. Then, the two returned to Li Ku. Hong Yang said, then you two come in. I'll show you around the inspection department properly. Li Ku was a bit confused. Manager Hong's attitude was clearly different from before. What had Zhou Heng talked to him about? They were so close just now, and it seemed they even shook hands. And could they enter the inspection department? Generally, without proper business, one couldn't just wander into the inspection department. It contained very important information and materials that had to be strictly controlled and not fall into the hands of those with ulterior motives. All right then, we'll trouble Manager Hong to lead the way. Zhou Heng nodded and said respectfully. Then Hong Yang led Zhou Heng and Li Ku into the inspection department. Zhou Heng saw that the atmosphere inside was even more serious than in the human resources department. Everyone was working diligently. He could understand. After all, with such a manager, his subordinates would definitely be strictly managed. It's very disciplined here. Zhou Heng nodded and said in a low voice beside Hong Yang. Hong Yang nodded, turned to Zhou Heng, and asked, how about it? Do you want to intern here? If you're willing, I can go ask for permission. Let me think about it. And this here is the marketing department. Li Ku then showed Zhou Heng around many other places, also giving Zhou Heng a general understanding of Junheng's layout. They had been touring for almost 2 hours and hadn't even seen half of Junheng. Zhou Heng was a bit tired, and he saw Li Ku was also a bit tired, but he didn't dare say anything as she led Zhou Heng around. Buzz, buzz. Just then, Zhou Heng's phone vibrated in his pocket. It was a call. Zhou Heng quickly took it out and saw it was from his dad. Hello, Dad. Zhou Heng stopped to answer the phone, and Li Ku also stopped, turning around to wait for Zhou Heng. Come find me. I'm not busy right now. I know you're in your office, right? Yes. After Zhou Heng hung up the phone, he looked at Li Ku and said, Sisterly, I have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. Thank you for showing me around. Sorry to trouble you. You're leaving? To find CEO Yu. Li Ku was a bit puzzled and asked, after all, she was assigned this task by CEO Yu, and she didn't dare end it without authorization. If Zhou Heng left without permission, and CEO Yu came to blame her later, what would she do? Zhou Heng paused for a second, then nodded and said, yes, that's right. CEO Yu seems to have something to tell me. I'll go over now. You can go back to your work. Is that so? Okay, I understand. After Zhou Heng left Li Ku, he prepared to go to his dad's office to find him. Li Ku had just told Zhou Heng which floors each elevator could reach. One of the elevators could go to the president's office, but ordinary people couldn't enter that elevator. There were guards inside, and only those with prior appointments or guests invited by the leadership could go up. After Zhou Heng pressed the button for that elevator, the elevator doors opened, and a man stood inside. Seeing Zhou Heng, he asked in a low voice, hello, may I ask if you're Mr. Zhou? Yes, I am. Okay, please come in. The man pressed his fingerprint, then pressed the button for the top floor. The elevator slowly started to move, and soon it reached the top floor. The elevator doors opened, and the man bowed, extending his hand, please. Okay, thank you. Zhou Heng walked out of the elevator and, following the directions, arrived at the president's office. He gently knocked on the door. Enter. Hearing his dad's voice, Zhou Heng pushed open the door and walked in. In the spacious and grand office, Zhou Junyao was sitting on the sofa, brewing tea. What attracted Zhou Heng's attention most was the huge screen in the office used for playing games. Dad, I'm here. Sit down. Zhou Junyao pointed to the sofa opposite him. Zhou Heng walked over and slowly sat down. Then, without being polite, he directly picked up the tea Zhou Junyao had just brewed and took a sip. You were startled when you saw Yu Ing Hai this morning, weren't you? Zhou Junyao chuckled softly and asked lightly. Yeah, I was startled. Why did you arrange for him to pick me up? Do you know how many people looked at me strangely after I came in? To give him a false impression, to let him temporarily lower his guard against you. If I secretly called you in without telling him, he would definitely be on alert. Oh, I see. How do you feel? Are you confident you can take over here? Zhou Junyao leaned back on the sofa, crossed his legs, and asked with a smile. Do you want to hear the truth? The truth is, you're not confident, right? Anyone else in this position wouldn't be confident, right? Zhou Heng shook his head. He felt his mental fortitude was already very good. If it were someone else, they would have long been overwhelmed by such a task. That's why I'm letting you intern for 3 years first. Then I'll decide, based on your performance. If it really doesn't work out, don't blame me. This is no longer a simple enterprise. If there's a slight mishap, do you know how many people will lose their jobs? How many families will fall apart? Zhou Junyao tapped the table and said sternly. Zhou Heng understood this point very well. As a leader, he held the lifelines of many people, the future of many families. A wrong decision could harm many people, so he had to be more cautious, have particularly strong mental fortitude, not panic in the face of trouble, and consider the overall situation. Yes, I know. Then, which department will I be interning in? Zhou Heng nodded. He didn't plan to give up. If he had thoughts of retreating at this point, all his efforts for so long would have been in vain, and he wouldn't be able to achieve anything significant in the future. He still had to earn his own money, buy a big house, and live with Min Gran in their own home. He didn't plan to ask his family for a single cent. He had already received too much from his family. Getting this opportunity was enough. He had to work hard for the rest and earn the money himself. Of course, you'll be interning here. The matters you'll be handling are the same as the ones I handle. Zhou Junyao slapped the table and stared at Zhou Heng. Ah, I see. Zhou Heng's mouth twitched. He thought he would be interning in some department. Turns out, he was interning in the president's office. But thinking about it, it made sense. He only had 3 years. If he wanted to take over Juanheng in 3 years, he had to start learning the president's work from day one. By the way, what about your choice for a secretary? It's best to have her intern with you, on the same frequency. It will save a lot of trouble. You can start together, and she can learn from my secretary. You probably guessed who I would choose long ago, right? Zhou Heng glanced at Zhou Junyao and said softly. Zhou Junyao's lips curved up slightly. He nodded and said, Uh-huh. Then tell Tang Ji, if she's willing, let her come with you tomorrow. Got it. Then today, go handle your onboarding first. Xiao Yang. Zhou Junyao called out to a door at the end of the office. Zhou Heng's gaze shifted, and he saw a man push open the door and walk in. He looked to be in his 30s and quickly ran to the two of them. Chairman Zhou. Zhou Junyao pointed at Zhou Heng and said, Ah, this is my son. Take him to complete the onboarding procedures and arrange everything properly. Zhou Heng quickly stood up and shook hands with the man. Hello, my name is Zhou Heng. Please take care of me. The man smiled, nodded, and said, Hello, you're welcome. My name is Liang Yufeng, Chairman Zhou's secretary. Secretary? Zhou Heng was stunned for a moment, looked Liang Yufeng up and down, and after releasing his hand, he lowered his head and whispered in Zhou Junyao's ear, A male secretary? Yes, your mom won't let me hire a female secretary. Subsequently, under Liang Yufeng's guidance, Zhou Heng went to complete his onboarding. The person who handled Zhou Heng's onboarding was the manager of the HR department. Zhou Heng's position also particularly shocked the HR staff. Assistant to the president. This position was much higher than their managers. After completing the onboarding, Zhou Heng prepared to leave. He planned to go back and tell Tang Ji to see if she was prepared to come with him tomorrow. At this time at home, Min Gran had just finished tidying the room until it was spotless and was resting on the sofa for a while. She was still quite worried about Zhou Heng. It was his first time at Juanheng. Wouldn't he be very nervous? Min Gran opened her phone and tapped on an app. It was the app she used to track her period. Why? Hasn't it come yet? Min Gran rubbed her stomach and murmured softly. It had been delayed for almost a month. Although it had been delayed before, that was due to fatigue or staying up late, and then it was delayed for about half a month. But now it's been almost a month. This really couldn't be ignored. Something was wrong. That time. When was it? Min Gran stood up and started looking for something in the room, rummaging through boxes and cabinets, searching for a long time. Finally, in the corner of a drawer, she took out a box. It was a box of pregnancy tests. Min Gran stared at the box, bit her lip, then opened it and went to the bathroom. After using it, she placed it on the sink, waiting for the result to appear. She had bought this the last time her period was delayed by half a month. She used one, found nothing was wrong, and it came normally a day or two later. She didn't know what was going on this time. Could be the same as before, delayed due to fatigue or staying up late. Otherwise, she and Jo Hung had been together for so long, and nothing had ever happened. Knock, knock. Just then, there was a knock on the door. In Min Gran thought Jo Hung had returned, so she quickly went to open it. Coming. But after opening the door, the person standing at the door was not Jo Hung, but Tang Ji. Tang Ji stood at the door, a lollipop in her mouth, peeked inside, and asked, "Where's Jo Hung? Why are you home alone? Leaving your wife alone at home the day after getting your marriage certificate?" "Ah, he was called by Dad. He went to Juan Hung." Min Gran let Tang Ji in, and the two sat on the sofa. Min Gran also poured Tang Ji a glass of water. "Is that so? It seems I came at a bad time. I originally wanted to talk to him about yesterday's matter." "Ah, then why don't you give him a call and ask? Maybe he's not busy right now." Min Gran hadn't disturbed Jo Hung, afraid he was busy. Anyway, as soon as he was finished, Jo Hung would definitely rush back immediately. Tang Ji shook her head, handed Min Gran a piece of candy, and said, "It's okay, forget it. I don't have anything urgent. Since you're bored at home alone, I can keep you company." "Okay, I am indeed quite bored. I've been tidying up all morning." Min Gran shrugged. She had truly discovered that if she wasn't by Jo Hang's side, she would be very bored and wouldn't know what to do. Just then, Min Gran suddenly received a call. She glanced at it, and it was actually from Lu Wei. Min Gran was about to get up and go outside to answer the phone, but Tang Ji stood up first and said, "You take the call, it's fine. I'll just go to the restroom." "Oh, okay then." Tang Ji went to the restroom and closed the door. She looked in the mirror, adjusted her collar, and then threw the lollipop stick she was chewing into the trash can. But when she lowered her head, she saw something on the sink. This. Tang Ji was stunned for a moment. After seeing that thing, her brain froze for a second. She blinked and stared at it for more than 10 seconds. She wasn't stupid, she knew what that thing was, and, at the same time, she could also clearly see the display on it. Those two lines. So clear. Damn, this is pregnant. Tang Ji's eyes widened, her face full of horror, a reaction of being overly frightened. She slowly picked up the pregnancy test, looked at it carefully again, and found that her eyes weren't deceiving her. This was a very clear result. A positive result meant pregnancy. Whose was this? Did she even need to think? It definitely wasn't Jo Hang's, right? It couldn't be another girl's either. So wasn't it Min Gran's? Min Gran was pregnant? Tang Ji stood there, staring at herself in the mirror, looking completely bewildered. She originally thought that getting the marriage certificate on the very first day of eligibility was already very fast. But to show up as pregnant the day after getting the certificate, wasn't that a bit too fast? What were they rushing for? Why were they in such a hurry to have a child? Click! Just then, the sound of a door opening came from outside. Jo Hang's voice came through, "Wife, I'm back." After Tang Ji heard Jo Hang's voice, she immediately opened the bathroom door, then reached out and instantly pulled Jo Hang in. Before Jo Hang could react, he was already in the bathroom. Looking at the person in front of him, he exclaimed, "Tang Ji, what are you doing here?" Jo Hang blinked, looking bewildered. Tang Ji appearing in their room's bathroom? That was one thing, but why pull him in? "Hey, did you guys plan this all along? Or was it an accident?" Tang Ji frowned tightly, staring at Jo Hang, and questioned. What planned? What accident? What are you talking about?" Jo Hang was completely confused, having no idea what Tang Ji was talking about. Then, Tang Ji picked up the pregnancy test, pointed at the two lines on it, her eyes wide, and said, "What do you think? Look what this is. Isn't this that?" No, Tang Ji, you don't even have a boyfriend, and you're pregnant? Damn it. Who did it?" Tang Ji was so angry she lifted her foot and kicked Jo Hang's, but cursing, "Screw you. This isn't mine. Not yours." Then it's... Jo Hang blinked, stunned for a few seconds. For a moment, it was as if he had frozen, standing motionless on the spot. Tang Ji nodded, pointing towards the door. Jo Hang's gaze, from dazed, slowly turned to utter shock. The expression on his face also gradually became exaggerated. Min Gran is pregnant? What are you doing? Why weren't you more careful? Are you in a hurry to be a dad?" Tang Ji slapped Jo Hang's arm a couple of times, frowning as she questioned him. Jo Hang was completely stunned at this moment, utterly dumbfounded, his eyes vacant, his expression frozen. His mind was a complete blank, as if it had crashed. This happened so suddenly, he couldn't react at all. Pregnant? In his mind, this was something completely unrelated to them at the moment. "No, Jo Hang raised his hands, his body trembling slightly. He said in confusion, "How is this possible? It's been the same as always, right? How could she suddenly get pregnant? It's been so long and nothing happened. We must have done it hundreds of times. Good heavens. You guys are quite frequent. What about protection?" Zhou Heng paused, then said in a small voice, "Well, it was always during her safe period. Isn't the safe period safe?" Tang Ji was so angry she reached out and poked Zhou Heng's head, saying in a low voice, "If you had even a little common sense, you'd know that the safe period isn't absolutely safe. You've just been lucky to hit the jackpot after so long. With your thinking, you should have actually hit it long ago." No, then what do we do? Now, take her to the hospital for a checkup. What's wrong with you? Aren't you usually very reliable and calm? What's with you now? Just stop nagging me. Isn't it because my mind went blank over this? I'm too flustered. Wait a moment, let me compose myself. Zhou Heng paced around a few times, then his chest heaved as he took several deep breaths, steadying his emotions a little. His mind had indeed been in chaos just now, thinking too much, completely unprepared psychologically, so he was rather flustered. Now that he had calmed down, he had also cleared his thoughts. "Yes, okay, Mom, I know, okay." At this moment, they heard Yin Mingran's voice, seemingly having finished her call. Zhou Heng and Tang Ji widened their eyes, looking at the pregnancy test in their hands, not knowing what to do. Especially Zhou Heng. His mind raced with thoughts of how to face Yin Mingran in a moment. Should he appear calm or surprised? How could he make Yin Mingran happy? The most important thing now was to take care of Yin Mingran's emotions. When he saw Yin Mingran later, he must say some comforting words to make Yin Mingran feel at ease. Right now, she definitely needed his comfort. "Hubby, are you back? I heard your voice just now." After Yin Mingran hung up the phone, she stood up and walked toward the sound. When she looked toward the bathroom, she saw Zhou Heng and Tang Ji standing there, staring blankly at her. Why are you two talking in the bathroom?" "I was just on the phone with Mom. It's nothing." Yin Mingran paused, a little surprised to see the two of them standing in the bathroom. Tang Ji looked at Zhou Heng, gave him a look, signaling him to speak, to act. Zhou Heng understood, turned around, came to Yin Mingran, and hugged her. While Yin Mingran was still puzzled, Zhou Heng whispered gently in her ear, "Don't worry, I will take good care of you and the baby." Yin Mingran's eyes suddenly widened, her mouth agape, blinking, her face full of bewilderment. "Baby? What? Baby?" Yin Mingran muttered. Just then, she saw Tang Ji in front of her, holding up the pregnancy test. Yin Mingran was first startled, then puzzled, and then she shouted out in surprise. "Wasn't this the one she just used?" Tang Ji came while she was waiting for the result, and then she forgot about it. This was 2 lines. She was pregnant, just like that. Pregnant? For a moment, her mind also went blank. She didn't know whether to be surprised, scared, or helpless. She didn't know what to do. Was she going to be a mother? Was there Zhou Heng's baby in her belly? Was this real? Zhou Heng released her, held her shoulders, looked in her eyes. Their expressions were the same, surprised, nervous, bewildered. "Hubby, Yin Mingran didn't know what to say. She didn't know if this was a good thing or a bad thing. What did this mean for Zhou Heng? You two stop talking for now. Hurry up and go to the hospital, get a proper checkup." It was Tang Ji who reminded them. Only then did Zhou Heng react, nodding. "Oh, right. Wife, let's go to the hospital. I'll change my clothes first." Zhou Heng took Yin Mingran's hand, ready to take her to the hospital for a checkup. A single pregnancy test wasn't necessarily completely accurate. Afterwards, the three of them left. Tang Ji drove, taking them to the hospital. On the way, Yin Mingran was in a daze. It wasn't that she wasn't prepared. From the day she fell in love with Zhou Heng, she had fantasized about this day, carrying Zhou Heng's baby, giving birth to their child. This had almost become her dream. But she didn't know if Zhou Heng was ready. What if Zhou Heng didn't want this child? Then she would still respect Zhou Heng's decision. After all, this was a rather crucial stage for Zhou Heng. He should be very busy next, right? Zhou Heng had just shown her his work ID, assistant to the president. In the car, Zhou Heng also briefly chatted with Tang Ji. Tang Ji had no objections at all. She came to find Zhou Heng today precisely for this matter. She also hoped to enter Juanheng as soon as possible and settle her own important affairs. Only then could she rest assured. Originally, Yuling Xue and Bai Tsong were her competitors, but Yuling Xue changed her mind, and Bai Tsong also gave up. In fact, according to others, even if they competed, they wouldn't be her opponents in the end, so their giving up was the right decision. In the car, Zhou Heng's leg was shaking excitedly, his hands unconsciously clenched, a smile on his lips, but a little sweat seemed to appear on his forehead. Zhou Heng looked at Tang Ji driving in front and asked, "Hey, do you think we should tell others about this? Should I tell my parents?" Tang Ji glanced at the rearview mirror, then replied, "Let's not tell our friends for now. My uncle and aunt, they should be told. After all, you'll be busy, and Min Gran also need your care. How to arrange this? You should ask for their opinion." I don't need to be taken care of. I can take care of myself. No need of trouble." Min Gran immediately replied, afraid that Zhou Heng would feel troubled by this matter. But Zhou Heng directly held Min Gran's hand and said softly, "How can that be? You are the most important." Min Gran lowered her head, a slight smile tugging at her lips. She knew Zhou Heng would say that. He was always so gentle and considerate. But could she really let Zhou Heng take care of her? He should be doing more important things. After arriving at the hospital, Zhou Heng took Min Gran for an examination, with Tang Ji following behind, helping them run errands. Min Gran underwent a comprehensive examination. Zhou Heng was very cautious, afraid of missing anything. By the time all the examinations were completed, a long time had passed. Then, while waiting for the results, the three of them went to eat. After eating, they returned to the hospital to get the results and consulted a gynecological expert. In the consultation room, Min Gran sat there, hands clasped tightly, lips pursed, while Zhou Heng stood behind her, his hands gently resting on her shoulders, looking equally nervous. Tang Ji stood behind them, sucking on a lollipop, her expression serious. The doctor glanced at the report, frowned slightly, and said, "It's very obvious she's pregnant." Zhou Heng and Min Gran both smiled, as if they were afraid she wasn't pregnant, or perhaps afraid that their earlier emotions were in vain. Mainly, this was a joyous event, a happy occasion, so it was normal for them to be happy. But I have to remind you, this child, it wasn't easy to conceive. If you don't want it, then it might be very difficult to get pregnant again. This sentence froze the joy of Zhou Heng and Min Gran. They stood there, staring blankly at the doctor. The doctor continued to stare at the examination report, pointed at Min Gran, and said, "You are very difficult to get pregnant. You ovulate very little, almost not at all. Right now, your ovaries can't ovulate. There are actually many reasons. According to the current examination results, there are some physiological conditions. Besides that, it's definitely related to your mental factors." Mental factors? Doctor, what does that mean? Zhou Heng asked anxiously, his face full of surprise. Tang Ji also felt something was wrong and walked over, standing behind them. The doctor continued, "Let's take it one by one. First, let's talk about the physiological conditions. Let me ask first, how often do you have intercourse?" A trace of embarrassment instantly appeared on Zhou Heng and Min Gran's faces. Then Zhou Heng spoke softly, answering about once every 2 or 3 days. After hearing this, the doctor looked up, glanced at the two of them, a faint smile on his lips, which made them even more embarrassed. Tang Ji, however, didn't think much of it, her expression unchanged beside them. "Have you taken oral contraceptives?" Zhou Heng and Min Gran looked at each other, nodded, and replied, "Yes, we have." This time, Tang Ji's expression changed. She turned to look at Zhou Heng and questioned, "Why would you take that kind of thing?" Zhou Heng scratched his head, his voice very low, and replied one time, "I drank too much, wasn't paying attention." During her fertile period, Tang Ji forcefully kicked Zhou Heng's butt again and said sternly, "Hey, you really are? How could you do that? You're not careful yourself, and you let Min Gran bear the consequences for you? Besides, didn't you say before? If it happens, you'll have the baby. Why eat that kind of thing?" Zhou Heng took a step back, a bitter expression on his face, muttering, "I remember, alcohol isn't good, right? And it wasn't me who asked her to. I only found out later." Min Gran took over, saying, "I decided to take it myself. I didn't tell Zhou Heng. At that time, the academic pressure was very high. I was afraid this would delay my studies." The doctor tapped the table with his pen and asked, "What was your reaction after taking it? There should have been significant side effects, right?" I remember, it seemed like vomiting and diarrhea. And then, my period became very long. It seemed to last for about half a month, and I ended up buying medicine to stop the bleeding. That's it then. After that, there was some sequelae. Your fallopian tubes are also a bit blocked, making ovulation difficult. This is just the physiological reason. Your main reason for not ovulating is due to mental and psychological factors." The doctor nodded, looked at the three people in front of him, extended his hand, and continued, tension, anxiety, fatigue, poor rest, these account for the majority of the reasons because you don't have a hereditary reason, right? So these are the main ones. Tension, anxiety. Zhou Heng's eyes widened, looking as if he didn't understand. Were they talking about Yin Mingran? Yin Mingran was tense and anxious? Why? How come he hadn't noticed? Yin Mingran, however, lowered her head slightly, her two fingers fidgeting with each other, not daring to look up. Tang Ji shrugged and said, "That's true. With a husband like you, it's normal to be tense and anxious. Yin Mingran is probably just pretending to be strong. She hasn't experienced that much, yet she has endured a lot. Is this true? Wife, have you been very anxious?" Zhou Heng squatted down, held Yin Mingran's hand, and asked softly. He really didn't know Yin Mingran was like this. He thought Yin Mingran was always very happy and relaxed. Yin Mingran pursed her lips tightly, not daring to speak, her face even a little red. She had never told anyone about these things, always appearing very, very strong on the surface. She didn't want Zhou Heng to notice. She didn't want Zhou Heng to worry about her. He should have more important things to do. No need to spend all his thoughts on her. But, however strong she appeared on the surface, her heart was just as fragile. Zhou Heng was really, really good, but the better he was, the more anxious she became. Worried that she wasn't good enough for him, worried that she would be abandoned one day, worried that Zhou Heng would be snatched away one day. After knowing that Zhou Heng had such a good future ahead of him, she became even more anxious. In Lu Wei's high hopes, these were all reasons for her tension and anxiety. Coupled with the high-intensity studies, she had put in a lot of effort to make things easier for Zhou Heng. She wasn't a Superman, so her body was very tired. She had been secretly taking medication to relieve anxiety, all of this, hidden from Zhou Heng. He didn't know. As long as Zhou Heng needed her, she would always present an optimistic, smiling face so that he could go and do more important things. Seeing Yin Mingran like this, Zhou Heng was completely stunned. He realized, had he neglected Yin Mingran's feelings, he only saw Yin Mingran's superficial appearance, always smiling when she looked at him, happiness overflowing when they were together. He never thought that her heart hid anxiety and tension, and her body, which looked fine and had never been sick, was actually so fatigued. Zhou Heng slowly stood up, his mind filled with unknown thoughts, but an overwhelming sense of guilt emerged. What kind of husband was he? He didn't even know his wife was anxious. Her body already had significant problems, and he still thought she was healthy, happy, and blissful. Tang Ji sighed helplessly and said softly, "You can't be blamed either. After all, who could have thought of this? You didn't do it intentionally." Yin Mingran quickly looked up, saw Zhou Heng's guilt-ridden face, and immediately waved her hands, saying, "Hubby, don't overthink it. I'm fine." The doctor immediately added, "Yes, don't worry. This isn't an illness. Maintain a happy mood. Relax. You must have been in a relatively good mood recently, so you ovulated normally, and that's how you successfully conceived. I advise you, if you plan to have children, then cherish this one. Otherwise, if you terminate it, you really might not be able to get pregnant in the future." A while ago. Oh, it was because Zhou Heng's birthday was coming up, and you guys were getting your marriage certificate, right? You were indeed very happy during that time. Tang Ji thought about what happened a while ago. At that time, their studies weren't busy, and Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran could be together every day, very intimate, and then they were looking forward to getting married. So Yin Mingran was really happy. It's nothing serious. Definitely don't get anxious because of the pregnancy. Otherwise, it will not only greatly affect the fetus, but also have a significant impact on your future physical and mental health. You must pay attention, and the husband must also pay attention to her emotions. Otherwise, the probability of postpartum depression is very high. The doctor added a few more instructions. Zhou Heng listened very carefully, taking every word to heart. This time, he was truly taking it completely seriously. He originally thought it was just Yin Mingran being pregnant, but he didn't expect so many problems to be found upon examination. It was a good thing they came for a checkup today, otherwise he would have remained in the dark, and by then, if Yin Mingran became depressed, he wouldn't even know what happened. Yes, it's nothing serious, just pay more attention. Usually, find some ways to relieve your emotions, and come for regular checkups. When the three of them left the hospital, Zhou Heng and Yin Mingran walked out hand in hand, in silence. Yin Mingran lowered her head, gently stroking her belly with her hand. A smile touched her lips. The thought of her and Zhou Heng's baby growing inside her made her incredibly happy. She understood everything the doctor said. It was so difficult for her to get pregnant. This was truly the best gift from heaven. No matter what, she had to cherish it. She hoped Zhou Heng felt the same way. In Mingran looked up at Zhou Heng, who seemed to be pondering something. Feeling Imingran's gaze, Zhou Heng looked up at her, then tightened his grip on her hand. Wife, I'm sorry. In Mingran rested her head on Zhou Heng's shoulder and said softly, You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. My husband is such an excellent man. It's normal for me to be anxious. It's a small thing. But I didn't even know. I'm so terrible. I couldn't even notice that something was wrong with my own wife's condition. What nonsense are you talking about? In Mingran stood there, reached out her hands, cupped Zhou Heng's face, looked at him seriously, and said, My husband is the best. Don't you say that about yourself. Zhou Heng couldn't help but be stunned, staring blankly at In Mingran's face. Seeing her say this so seriously, he suddenly found her incredibly charming. All right, I know, wife, you're the best too. I hope you won't be anxious anymore. I'll pay more attention to your emotions in the future. Okay, hubby. Tang Ji drove them back. It was already quite late. Tang Ji decided to go back first, letting the two of them discuss what to do alone. As for tomorrow's matters, they could talk about them tomorrow. The most important thing now was how to arrange things for In Mingran. Zhou Heng had already started working at Juanan. Now that things had come to this, how should he arrange his work and In Mingran? In the evening, In Mingran sat on the sofa, her hands clasped tightly on her lap, looking somewhat nervous. Her pant legs were rolled up, revealing her fair calves and feet. After a while, Zhou Heng came out of the bathroom, carrying a basin of hot water, and placed it at In Mingran's feet. Come, wife, soak your feet in hot water. It can relieve fatigue very well. It's very comfortable. After you're done washing, I'll give you a massage. You walk a lot today, you must be tired. Zhou Heng squatted in front of In Mingran, ready to wash her feet. In Mingran was really a bit embarrassed and retracted her feet slightly. Zhou Heng looked up, saw In Mingran's embarrassed expression, and smiled faintly. All right, what's wrong? This isn't the first time I've washed your feet. Why are you acting as if I'm only doing this for you, because I know you're pregnant? Zhou Heng gently placed In Mingran's feet into the foot basin. The water temperature was just right. This reminded Zhou Heng of when his arm was fractured. In Mingran had also taken care of him like this. He was truly enveloped by a sense of happiness back then. If only he could have realized In Mingran's anxiety sooner. I didn't think that. I know you've always been this good. Hubby, I'm just afraid that what the doctor said will affect your mood. I'm really fine. You don't have to worry. In Mingran was mainly worried that Zhou Heng would feel guilty. He was already very good, and he was already taking meticulous care of her. This made her feel like some kind of greedy woman. Zhou Heng was already so good, yet she was still tense and anxious. How unfair was that to him? Zhou Heng lowered his head, gently massaging the soles of In Mingran's feet, silent, as if he was thinking about something. In Mingran's heart raced, staring at Zhou Heng, wondering what was wrong with him, why he suddenly stopped talking. After about 5 minutes, Zhou Heng exhaled, looked up at In Mingran, his expression serious, and slowly said, Wife, why don't we not take over any company? Let's the two of us go to a city with a higher happiness index, find a stable job, and live a simple life. I've thought about it. What I want is still to live a simple life with you, like when we were in high school. That was the happiest.